Blog Talk Radio.
Shalom, Lekulam. Peace to everyone. Welcome to the Reset Button Season 3. This season, we welcome the listener to join us while we journey through Isaiah, one of the most controversial books in the Word. We would like to accomplish understanding of the salvation of Israel mentioned. Is it one spoken of in the New Testament? Is it someone we're waiting on? Or is it in the past? Walk through this with us as we attempt to uncover this mystery. The call-in number is 516-595-8238. And press 1 at any time that you have questions or that you would like to leave a comment. Our collective email is histaught1talkradio@gmail.com. Our Facebook page is His Taught Ones and His Taught Ones Talk Radio. We also have the YouTube page at His Taught Ones Talk Radio. Subscribe and we'll be posting our episodes every week. Shalom and have a good show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another season of His Taught Ones. Talmidim, yo, here we go, back at it again. You did yourself, Shema and some friends. We learned hard through better sheets, the Melachim. Now fresh start to what is hot. I never yin, yeah. Here come the prophets, they're dropping some knowledge, abolishing doctrines, apology nonsense. They bring the word, you can call them the pinpoint, given by the hand of the head. He is the pinpoint, yeah. Or could it be it's another? So many distances from the children, it's a misnomer. Honestly, the aroma is hideously unbearable. There is no one accord. How dare we say that we're hearing you? I don't want to see
Kadosh Yisrael, Holy One of Israel. Anachnu modim lecha al yom nosaf ve'al milah. We thank you for another day and for your word. Barech bivakasha et ha-mifkash hazeh. Please bless this gathering. Bo'u nishmiah. Let us say Amen. Amen.
Shalom, shalom. Welcome to another episode of His Taught Ones Reset Button. I know Yada is here. Shema might be a little late. Not, we'll make it happen. We was going to make the show at 12. I think Yada your call dropped. But I had checked the time you put on Facebook, and I was like, So I guess it's Shema might not even know if your call dropped at the end of that episode or whatever. And we was kind of talking about that, and I forgot all about it. But I'll see if I can shoot him a text. He might think 12 for sure. But other than that, hey man, we're gonna start with the opening statement. So Yada man, start with your opening statement. Let me see if I can shoot him a text while you're at it.
Hi, shalom, everybody. It's a blessing to be here another day, gather and go over this word. I'm thankful for that. I would like to say, yeah, my call dropped, but Shema knew my call dropped. He texted me and was like, do you want me to bring you back? Like, you know what I'm saying, just call me. I was like, y'all going to finish without me. So I had no idea. Next time, just in case, just let me know, like shoot me a text or something, because y'all know I create the shows. So just shoot me a text, even if you know I heard last time, because I might forget, because that's the normal time that we always go. So just next time, y'all just shoot me a text, and then that way I know for sure. But other than that, man, yeah, hopefully Shemai do show up. If not, you know, I think we capable of taking care of it. You know, we done did it before. Y'all done did it without me, so it's all good, man. As far as the chapters go, you know, I'm hoping we can get through this today. You know, just kind of want to relax today, but you know, we gotta complete the work. So I have no problem with, you know, going through these chapters. I'm just hoping that we can get done at a reasonable time. I know we set it for 2 hours, so that's the goal today, is to get through it in 2 hours, which I think is possible, because there's some stuff in there, but there's not really a whole lot to talk about. There's probably about like 1 or 2 real talking points. So I'm gonna try to be brief, but I'm gonna try to get what needs to get put out there. But I'm gonna try to be real brief when I need to be brief, so we can get out of here at the appropriate time, or the set time that we put out for 2 hours. So that's all I got. Ready to see what you have, and shalom.
All right. Just like he said, man, I'm gonna try to be real straight to the point as much as possible. I did see a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, but just a discussion type of matter. Yeah, and blame me, you know, as far as, because I mentioned it at the end of the show. It's like, you know, well, most likely we're gonna be. I'm sorry about that. I said at the end of the show, I was like, yeah, we probably start at 12. And I was like, I got to talk to these brothers to let them know what you know what I mean, that's what I want to do. And I never even talked to them, man. It's kind of slipped my mind. Man, been busy. So it really kind of fell on me more than anything else, because I was supposed to confirm it. And I didn't even think about it until today. Like, did I ever even tell him? You know what I'm saying? We talked about it, whatever, but I never really confirmed and said, yeah, this is what I want to do, you know, this, that, and the other. But it's all right. I mean, you know, it's all good. I mean, I like this time just for the simple fact that we get off a little earlier and people get a chance to enjoy their day. So that's cool. Anything other than that, as far as my opening, just like I said, I'm willing. I'm ready to see what's going on. See what this brother got. Shema, he might make it for a second. If he don't, whatever, you know, it'll be okay. But if he does, see what he got, and see if anybody else, you know, has something. Just like always, fellowship, chopping it up, learning, studying together, letting the Most High have His way. You know, just a blessing to be able to actually do this. That's more so where I stand. But I'm not going to take too much time today. So I wanted to do it a little different today. I kind of wanted to not have specific chapters. Just wanted to kind of roll with it, and then, like, if you got a point around there, like kind of how we kind of did it before, seeming though I didn't know if Shema was going to be there for the whole show and this, that, and the other. I didn't want it to get to where also that, you know, he has a chapter and he wasn't able to present his chapter. So, you know, he wants to do something. And just for everybody that's listening, you know what I'm saying, he's doing some fatherly things. So, you know, that kind of supersedes what we got going on. And we all, you know, hope he not hurt or nothing like that. So it's nothing, you know, y'all have to think nothing bad. And then he just, you know, having a chance to do something with his daughter. And, you know, he got to relish that opportunity. You know, that's very important when it comes down to it. And it's important for all of us, you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing bad. Y'all ain't got to be over there shooting up prayers for him. Come on, get well soon. And ain't no tension in that. He just, you know, some stuff sometimes it collides or whatever. But that's just the way I was just thinking about, like, you know, one person kick it off. He go through a couple of his points. Somebody, you know what I'm saying, the next person jump in. You know, when he get to a point or something that he wanted to touch, and then he might go a couple verses and then, like, just kind of, like, let it flow with it like that and see how that work out for us. It's worked out before, so that's kind of how I wanted to roll with that one. If you don't mind, you know, you can kick it off. I ain't checked to see if anybody in the queue or not. Hold on.
Yeah, it was
right,
one in the queue. Let me open them up.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that.
Yeah, because I know you probably got to go back and forth with your phone. So I got my computer today. We up and running. So I'll watch the board.
Appreciate that.
I believe this is Phillip, but 843605. You're live.
Yeah, it's Phillip. I was listening to the show last week. Unfortunately, I was visiting my family in the Dominican Republic, so my reception was pretty poor, and I couldn't really chime in like I wanted to, or I didn't feel confident chiming in to like bring some things out. I listened mostly to the show, and I saw how tense it was. To me, I took it as it was tense because Sister was it Hoffman? I don't remember her name, Claire, but she was pretty much playing devil's advocate and just bringing out some points. And you know, I had the fellas and the brothers, you know, just reacting to it. So I just wanted to. I was hoping I was able to get in the queue before y'all really start the show off, just to like, you know, give my perspective, or, you know, I want to preference, you know, my comments by saying, look, you know, I love you guys and I appreciate this show, and you know, I'm like you guys when it comes to just knowing the truth and understanding the truth. So that's why I'm prefacing off of it. So it got me to thinking. You know, the last show got me to thinking because it's a lot. Like I met like Brother Yada, you know, through my previous beliefs or whatnot like that. So I'm like, is it far fetched? Is it just that far away from the truth, or is there something going on? So I think the word that I like in my search and my prayers and everything, the best word I could have come up with is it's a phenomenon. You know, that's where I'm at right now. Like this whole thing with Christ, the story of Christ and stuff like that. It's just, to me, it feels like a phenomenon. It's some rare thing that, you know, is proven. There's proven facts of this, and there's facts against it. So it's like, all right, where do we balance this off of? What is true to me, or what is clear to me, is everything y'all brought out in Isaiah so far is pretty much fact. Now I don't know about Matthew, and I don't know, you know, if it's just a complete lie, because I know that's the term that was used last week. Is just a lie. I've been doing my studying, and people just say he just got it wrong. You know, I don't want to go as far as saying he was lying, because it just seemed like he was purposely doing it for a specific reason. You know, take it for what it is what it is. But we all come to the conclusion that, you know, it was incorrect in when it talks about, you know, the virgin story. So I'm going to leave it at that. But then again, I look at the story and I look at the life of Christ. It's hard to prove that this person, we call him whatever we want to call him, I'm going to just say, you know, Christ for namesake. You know, we look at the story, and the story exists. It's some factual truth to it. So I don't want to disannul the story itself off of, you know, the fact that we realize that, you know, he's not what we thought he was. But who is he? That's where I'm at right now. Like, who is he? And I just came up to the point where it's a phenomenon, because it's rare, you know, and I you know, it's like it's hard to disprove it, because the people that discussed of him believe he exists too. So, you know, are we at the point where this person didn't exist, or are we at the point where, all right, this person is not the Son of God and da-da-da-da. So I have a perspective, and some other people have perspective too. But I've been reading so much stuff, and my brother, I told last time I spoke, told you how my brother don't believe in it at all. He had the point where we were in slavery, and they gave us the Bible to make us believe something that was so false, and this is where he at with the Bible completely. He don't believe in it at all because he feel like it takes away from who we are as people, as black people. But I'm not getting too far into it. I'm just really just wanting to understand where we go. I don't want this discussion, this everything we do every week to just be a battle between what is Christ. I want the truth to be told, and I would like for us to hold back on our personal opinions, because people are trying to figure out. You have people who are naive, you have people who are convinced, you've got people who are brainwashed, you have different type of people. I don't know who are listening on the show, but they just really want to know the truth. And I think that our personal feelings sometimes take away, or people, especially if it's a naive person, it's going to be easy for them to attract to whatever they feel like this person is saying. So I just wanted to come in at first before the show starts to just bring out a perspective that maybe not everybody else is thinking about. The truth and the facts and things that have happened, things that we have went through in our life, how we came together, how we came on this show. It all happened for a reason. I believe that. So, let's not too much. I know she played devil's advocate, but I just like to play the person that's like, there is a reality on so many planes, and people really just want to know and understand together. I think that's where we at. We really want to know and understand together. And you guys have much more knowledge than me. Y'all studied much longer than me. Y'all know Hebrew much longer than me. So I can't really, argue anything because I don't have a point. But I just know as a person that's really trying to understand the truth, you see different sides. You see what other people say. You grasp a lot of things, a lot of information, and you have to think. I have to think. Well, what is this? And I think about the life of. I know the New Testament really well, and I think about the story of Christ. But he denied himself the whole time, up until the point where he was about to be crucified. He really never really tried to be a person that say, "I am the child of this." That's from the Bible standpoint. He never really alluded to him being anything up until the end. So then I have to ask the question now: who really forced this? So who forced this knowledge or this information on us? So that's why, man, I'm going to just get out the queue. I just got a lot of things on my mind I was holding from last week, and I just want, people to just think about, every aspect, just not one point.
Okay. We appreciate that, brother.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say
I appreciate your input, man. And I do want to respond. So like I said, I don't really get a chance to hear you much, but it was good to hear your voice and say, how you feel about things. This is very much appreciated. I want to say that first and foremost, because I don't want to take away from anything that you said. I do want to add to it as far as personal beliefs and stuff like that. I would have to say that we don't really get too much into personal beliefs, but every now and then we do. But it's good sometimes because it lets us know where we come from, where we're going, where we've been. If we actually go back to the beginning of the show, I don't even know how far we can go back on this blog, so I'm probably not that far back. But if we go back to the beginning, we all had different beliefs. We all had thoughts. And all of them wasn't, they wasn't right. Let me just say it like that. I ain't going to say all of them wasn't right. I had some thoughts that just wasn't right. My whole perspective is different from what it was in the beginning. So,
yeah, I think you cut out. We can't hear you if you're speaking.
To say,
yeah, you riding through
I also want.
I think.
Oh, I'm breaking up?
Yeah, real bad.
Probably, it's just the area where I'm at.
Yeah, that's why I said.
You'll be able to hear me or not. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me or not, what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
If,
I can hear you now.
Okay. What I was saying is we don't try to get into personal opinions much. Every now and then, like I say, it's good to get into the way we feel about something or the way we think about something, and it's also good to let it thought. And it ain't always, you don't always think the same thing. So that's also a bless some of the people that might listen know that we're not on an agenda between each other. That's the reason we discuss what we read or our points before we collab. And it gives us the not robotic type of deal. But I don't want to get into a bunch of opinions. I will just go to able to be heard.
Yeah, the last few words you said kind of cut out, but I've been making out what you said.
I don't want to get into a bunch of opinions. Is that a little bit clear?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. And maybe if you do catch it, you just repeat it for the people that might not have heard it because you catching it more than other people are. But, like I say, every now and then I don't mind it, yeah, but I am with you about the opinions part. The thing about the Matthew being alive, I'm probably the one, I think I am the one that might have said it in that aspect. Might have been a bad choice of words. More so if he didn't understand what he was talking about or didn't understand the word, that might have even been a better perspective of what is going on. Let me see. Okay. That might have been a better perspective of what's going on. And that's cool. But even if you don't tell the truth, it's still a lie. Even if it's out of ignorance. That's just how my mindset thinks. Now, if he purposely did it or whether or not he purposely did it, that's a different story. But the truth is the truth and the lie is a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we all here for the truth. And there's some errors in it. Now, whether or not I throw the whole thing away, no, I'm not going to throw. Well, I have, personally, because I'm just going to wait till I get there. And these brothers know, man, I've been studying fervently on a bunch of stuff, and I got to a point about a book way before I got to this point. I had said I was throwing a book out, the Bible, a long time ago. It wasn't Matthew. But it was a joke. It was like a running joke that I was saying because I had read it, and I was like, it just didn't make sense. I mean, the brothers know I was, like, super joking, but I was like, man, I'm throwing this out the Bible. But it wasn't Matthew. And it's because we read stuff and we try to understand it, and we are humans, and we try to make sense of things, and that's what we do. So in the lieu of trying to make sense of things and making and doing what we do, we see problems, and that's what the Most High has given us our brain for. He's given us our brain so we can kind of solve problems and do this, that, and the other. Cause I don't want to take too much time, but I did want to respond and say, I appreciate the feedback. I also wanted to say, we try to keep the opinions to a minimum, but this also what makes us human, and we did want more interaction, even on what people think. Also, so even your interaction is something that in this season, coming up to this season, we encourage. Even if it is an opinion, we encourage because nobody talks but us. So I don't want to discourage somebody from bringing in their opinion, and I'm not saying that you're saying that, but just for anybody that's listening, I don't want to discourage them to say, hey, you know what, this is an opinion. I don't want to say it. We'll just throw it as it's an opinion. It could be fact later on if we find out. But at this point, okay, it's opinion, and we'll just roll with it. But we do want the interaction. We do want people to speak up and say what they feel and tell us how they go about things. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Maybe until I get if I had something else, man, something that's popped in my head. I'm in the clear area. I'll save it to the end of the show. But I'm going to let Yada Yah say something if he has to say.
Yeah, just for me, I'm going to keep it real brief. I will say I understand where you're coming from. I try my best not to bring in stuff that is not dealing with the immediate context. And what I mean by that is, like, it could have something to do with, like for instance, let's use the example of the virgin thing. Like, I understand because, like, when we run across stuff, there's things in our mind that when we get to it in context that we was taught that it was a certain way. And then when we read it in context, we see, like, hold on, the context don't support doctrine. So it's kind of hard not to bring it up. I try my best not to, but sometimes it just come up, because it's like when somebody tell you, when you was a little kid and your mom be like, if you kiss a girl, your lips gonna fall off. Let's just say that. You kiss a girl, your lips gonna fall off. Then you get a little older, mess around, kiss a girl, your lips still intact. You can't help but to remember that your mama said your lips was gonna fall off. So you can be like, hold on, my lips didn't fall off. Then you gonna veer into that, and then you be like, man, she lied to me. So it could be something as subtle as that, but it's because a lot of us started in the New Testament. We knew of what they call as the Old Testament, but our main focus was Brother Yosef call dropping. He is the host, so I'm hoping this don't hang up. But yeah, like I was saying, hopefully he can call back in time for this thing shut down on us. I don't know if anybody can still hear us or hear me, so I'm gonna open this mic up real quick just to make sure. Phillip, can you hear me?
Yeah, I still can hear you.
Okay. All right. Hopefully he can call back. If not, then I'm going to have to call. All right. So, yeah, like I was saying, it's just a matter of just, things that's in your mind that have been said and that you believe, and then when you come across the context of it, because they reference a lot of the Old Testament, but they only reference the parts mainly that has to do with Christ. So when you come across these things and you see it in context, just like you said with the whole the virgin thing, we see that, like you yourself said, that's proven. That's a proven fact now to you. So something's wrong. You don't know exactly what's wrong, but you want to know the truth. So sometimes when you run across it, it becomes so to certain people like, oh my goodness, like, are you serious? Like, I can't believe this, and then you kind of get into your emotions a little bit. But I do believe that we shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? We should be keep our calm, keep our cool, and just state facts and just move forward. So, but at the same time, we have to reference that this was not, this is what I believed, or this is what was said, and this is what the context has revealed. I mean, it's kind of a part of the show's theme for us to do that, because it's the reset button. We all, come to points where, okay, this is a reset moment. So it kind of helps identify the reset moment. But I do want to more so wait, because I like to go backwards. I like to get to a certain point and go backwards and look. So that's what I like to try to do, but sometimes it don't always work like that. But I really do appreciate the comment, and I will try my best to stay away from that. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and start. Hopefully he calls back. I'm going to mute your mic, Phil, and press 1 so it'll take you out the queue, and then you can come back whenever you need to. So I'm mute. Once you hear mute, just press 1. All right, there you go. All right, while I'm waiting on yourself, I really don't want to get started without him because I don't want him to come back like, what did you say, or whatever. But I'm assuming he's in a bad area. So, what I would like to do, I know last week I wasn't on for the whole show, but I know Brother Jeff had went in the queue, and he came out of the queue. So I'm going to just open up his mic and see if he has anything in regards to anything before I get started. And if yourself ain't back by that time, I'm just going to get the ball rolling. Brother Jeff, you live.
Shalom. Yes, I was actually glad to be here. I was actually traveling on last Shabbat, so I pulled over on the side of the road. I was just going to chime in on what Sister Hoffma and the other brothers were referring to, but I think Brother Phillip already covered it, so I think we're all good to go. So I'm just sitting back ready to enjoy the rest of the show. And I can expect it because Isaiah is a controversial book, and it's a controversial topic. So we can expect these things to come out. Because, I can think back to Sister Hoffman saying, what about the people who died believing this? So when we look at it from that aspect, we would have to not, lie to ourselves and say, you know what, this is kind of deep. You know what I'm saying? People died believing stuff. So
yeah.
In that aspect, we can expect some feelings to come out in this area. I would just have to, just say that it's expected. Although we shouldn't do it, but I mean that human part of us is like, I've been lied to, or I wasn't given the full truth, and we know a partial truth is not a truth at all. So I just wanted to say that part, and I'm glad that the Brother Phillip came on to address that, and I just look forward to the rest of the show.
All right. Appreciate that, Brother Jeff. I'm going to mute your mic. All right, we got Sister Hochma. You're live.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I did not get to hear what Sister Hochma said as far because I wasn't on this call when Sister Hochma was brought up, so I don't know. When I got on, all I heard was a gentleman said devil's advocate, and I don't know. Then the other guy who just got on said what Sister Hochma said. So I don't know what Sister Hochma said. But I would like to say, Jedediah, you had said that, how these things come up and you're like, oh, my goodness, I've been lied to. And it's by people that you love and people that you trust. So I just had a question that just popped in my mind while we're waiting on yourself. Does it change your relationship with that person that lied to you? Does it change your outlook on them, and you start to be like halfway believing anything that they say because of the being lied to, and now it's like I can't trust what they say. So, but then again, it makes you also go research for yourself at the same time. So I was just sitting here thinking, as I always do.
Okay, that's a great question, and I think it comes with a level of maturity. Now, initially, that's how I used to react, and I was like, I don't want to do it with this person, and anything they say at this point is a lie. They don't know what they're talking about. They need to stop preaching. They need to stop saying this. They need to just sit down somewhere. But then as I began to mature, I understood that there's levels of information. Just because somebody get one thing wrong don't mean that everything they do is wrong. You know, everything they say is wrong. So it's kind of like different aspects of certain things. You know, I've seen different levels of it. Me, myself, and then also it's growth. You know, when I started looking at things at reality, like at one point you could believe one thing, but then it's just like all of us. You know, at one time we believed in the Tooth Fairy. Maybe not all of us. At one time we believed in Santa Claus because that was what was told. Then we grew up, that's fake. Then when we got to a certain point, like we didn't believe in Santa Claus, but we thought December 25th was Jesus' birthday. So, like, as we matured and as we came to different facts, we were able to shed that off of us. I don't think I never got mad at anybody that told me about Santa Claus, you know.
Right.
Because, honestly, it also is your life experience. Like, I never got mad because the Santa that I had was kind of, even if he was real, I mean, he was tripping because he was giving me stuff that was whack. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it just, you know, so Santa never really mattered too much to me because he wasn't about nothing anyway. So, in my mind, you know, if Santa going to be Santa, he needs to bring the heat. He need to, you know, he need to be able to give me some real good stuff. You know, so I kind of looked at it like that, and then, but, yeah, just far as the word goes, like, I was like that, but as I matured and I understood the dedication that it took to really dig for this information and really be serious about wanting the truth, like the Hebrew and all that stuff. It's just so many layers to unpeel. So, you know, your average pastor out there, they don't do this stuff, you know what I mean? Even to the level of just going to the origins of certain things. I mean, some people will tell you that's in church right now that is Jesus' birthday. Like, and the crazy part about it, like, even at a low level, like, you could see there is no date in none of these pages of the Bible that tell you December 25th, but yet that's what they identified it as, and people believe that. So there's levels to it, and I understand that some people just haven't put in that work to do it. But the thing is, where I have a problem is when they tell you 100% sure and you've done the research. That used to bother me. But then I got to a point to where I just understand how people operate. I understand how people are, and it don't bother me no more. You know, and I don't go out really trying to attack people because they believe what they believe. But when they bringing it to me, then that's a different story, and I deal with it the best way I know how. But I'm not finna sit here and argue with you over something that I know I put in the necessary time and effort to seek and have the truth revealed to me through my endeavors and my vigorous studies and my due diligence, to sit here and waste my time and argue, because I've been there before, you know. So another thing is, like, when you've been there, when you've believed these things before, and you know why you did believe those things, it makes it kind of easier to say, okay, I know why they believe it, but I'm hoping that something I say or something I do or somebody else does will help them further their studies and further their understanding, because that's how it happened to me. And I see some people going down the same path that I went down. Now, some of us on the panel just moved a little quickly. You know, we were kind of expedited and pushed a little faster through, and now we there where I've seen other people, like, leave and go in that direction, and I was like, oh, what's going on with them, you know? And I didn't know. And now that I started moving there, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, and I can kind of see the signs of who's going to move in that direction and probably how fast they're going to go because I've been down that road. So I know I talked a lot, but I'm trying to give yourself time to get here, and I wanted to thoroughly answer your question as well. So you could let me know, was that, did that suffice for your question?
Yes, I was just sitting here thinking because, and you're right, it has due to level of maturity, especially when it comes to this word. I just have a friend that's trying to so hard reconcile our relationship, and we can never do that because we're very two strong-minded women, and due to my disbelief in Jesus and her, I'm gonna live and die with Jesus, we can never have that relationship or that friendship because of our two different beliefs. And so I was just thinking about trust and just all that. It was coming up the same time you were talking about being lied to as far as the scripture, and it's like, how do you talk to someone and try to show them that this is not that? And I don't know, it's just, this is like the hardest thing. I don't know if any of you guys have this issue where you're losing friends behind Jesus. Like, because one of them is strong, you're going to die. Like these people that died for Jesus, and now you like, I'm not dying because of Jesus. Does that make sense? So it's
right.
So I'll just sit here. I know this is the rest show, so I just figured I could just ask these questions. So I don't know.
Well, really, it ain't a rest show. It's turning into a rest show, which I'm fine with.
I thought it was the rest show.
We was gonna do a rest show because we didn't know yourself. I wasn't supposed to be here, but then I said I just rescheduled because Shema wasn't gonna be here, and that would have left yourself by himself. So he was saying if he was gonna be by himself, he was just gonna do a rest show and wait till we came back. So, but it's fine. I mean, we can always push it because he's not here anyway, and I'm here by myself. So, either way, somebody ended up by themselves. So, I mean, this is fine. I mean, I think this is what needs to be addressed and talked about. But yourself is back. But I did want to.
Yeah, man, I had the worst signal, and then it cut the phone off, and then it took forever to get a signal, so I apologize.
Oh, it's all good. I was just answering a question from Sister Hokma, but I wanted to finish out the question, and then we got Phil. I think Phil back in the queue, and then we can get started. Like we said, it ain't a whole bunch in these anyway, so we probably gonna run through them. But I just want to say, sometimes you can't reconcile the relationship based off of that until that person comes around and see what you saw and get there, and then, and sometimes that happens. Like I said, I seen people go down the path of the direction that we ended up going, and, like, we really stopped talking like that. They was never like a friend for real. They was just a Facebook friend, but yet still a friend. But they just veered and went somewhere else. But then, boom, next thing I know, we back in the same flow because I ended up where he went. So sometimes it work out like that. Like it's an individual journey, and then sometimes people don't move or are not moved when you moved, and they end up, it's kind of like when you young and you grow up and you went to school with one person, and then like either they moved or you moved, and then next thing you know, when you grow up, you see them, you like, hey, how you been, blah, 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 it's kind of like that, you you went somewhere else, and they stay in that same neighborhood, and then next thing you know, y'all both grow up, and y'all end up in the same place. And it's a shocker because you're like, man, like, I thought I'd never see you again. But at the end of the day, You just got to leave your emotions out of it, and then just always put reality over reason. The reality is, some people just haven't got to that point, and I don't take it personal. That's what I learned not to do, is not take it personal. I don't take it personal. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe, but just I know the reality is that it's not accurate what you believe, because some things I know, some things I don't know. So especially those things that I haven't ran across yet, I really don't take that personal. But the things that I do know, I still try not to take it personal, because, like I said, I've been there. I've done that, and I know how hard it is, or how much of a stronghold it is. Like you said, hey, I'm not getting in the kingdom or whatever. At this point, I don't even know this kingdom mindset, how it really is. So at this point, I'm just out here soul searching. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out what's true, what's real, and it's kind of I feel like, I'm really out here trying to figure it out. I'm not just sitting up under something or just believing something just because it was told to me or given to me at birth, and that's what it is. So some people are content with that. Some people are like, okay, this is what I was told, and that's what I'm rolling with, and I'm never going to look into it. I'm never going to do any of that. And, I'm fine with that. There's a saying that we used to say, if you like it, I love it. If that's what you... If that's how you operate, that's what you love, that's cool. Long as you don't try to come at me about something, then we cool. I'm not gonna be beefing with you over no religious beliefs. That's where I'm at. So that's it. That's the only advice I can give you at this point. And if she wanna be beefing with you about it, that's on her. You know what I'm saying? But I would just encourage that you just, let that roll off your back. And just,
Man, I missed the question. What's the question real quick?
Be secure.
I heard everything.
Be secure in what you believe, and just leave it at that. And don't let nobody else emotions affect you. Just be you, continue to be you. And if people don't like you because of who you are, then, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is, So I just wouldn't take offense to it. And if you lose a friend, you lose a friend. They was really never your friend to begin with if they want to be on some petty stuff like
that. Okay.
But
man, what was the question?
The question was just how do you deal with people when you start believing how the direction that we going as far as the book and stuff like that, and the New Testament versus Old Testament. You know how people do, and people because what you see is either they wholeheartedly deal with the New Testament or they don't deal with the New Testament. To me, it's
right.
I deal with.
There ain't no in between.
Right. So what you come across is as you make your transition and you really seeking facts, you really seeking truth, those people who are wholeheartedly New Testament believers, they tend to basically disconnect with you and basically say that you fell away, or they want to label you and all this stuff, and then you lose that friendship with them because of the truth that you have come across. And that was just mainly the basis of the question, how do you deal with it and all that stuff. So.
Okay, let me just respond to maybe to anybody else that might be coming into this. Okay, it's two things about it. One thing I always tell somebody, no matter what way of life that you walk before, if we was cool before, we should still be cool afterwards. Or it kind of shows, like you said, what kind of person you really are. Because at the end of the day, what I believe as far as whether or not I believe it or wholeheartedly in the New Testament or I don't believe in the New Testament at all, it doesn't change the fact of whether or not I'm a father, a man, a good worker, a husband, or whatever the case may be. If you thought that my morals and my everything else was good enough to be a friend, it should still be that same way even if I stop believing what you believe. You know, we should still be able to say, hey, you know, we still cool, even though, you know, this, that, and the other. And you know, y'all know me personally, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know I kind of dealt with that. You know what I mean? It was a big thing. Like, I'm going to lose friends. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to lose the truth over friends. And I'm not going to let go of what I can see over what I can prove, you know what I'm saying, as far as what the words say over a friendship. Because, like he said, that it wasn't really your friend if they could let you go over your belief and not really sit down and figure out why it is that way. And another thing, like just to be honest with you, ain't nobody falling away in the word. That don't make sense. If I'm reading and I'm studying, how did I fall away from and I'm studying? I don't understand that at all. Now, if you're going to say somebody fell away, just say that you see me out in the street. I'm going to be very drastic with it, smoking crack, and then then I come back talking crazy. You like, yeah, I just seen homeboy smoking crack. Now he talking about he don't believe in this. He fell away. And the devil done played with his head, and now he's whatever. I could see those instances, but those usually aren't the instances with people that people are supposedly fell away. It usually is the people that fell away are people that delve deeper into the word that say, hey, look, this, that, and the other. So, like he said, I'm not going to go with what somebody told me over and over. I have to find out the truth for myself. And just like to say the caveat, that's what Phillip was saying. We all in this for truth. You know what I'm saying? Now, my abruptness or my brashness, you know what I'm saying, and my straight to the pointness or my jokes or whatever, you know, anybody that know me, you know, don't let that mold what people feel is to be the truth. Now I say, and I'm going to say this last thing because it's been on my head now we talk about it. It is some people out there. Now, y'all, the people that's listening, you just ran across some people that's actually nice about this thing. I'll say that because there's some people out there slaying folks because they got a little bit of truth and talking bad about them, calling them all kind of stupid and ignorance and every word that you can think about under the sun, they're calling the people that don't know, and that's not a way to win people. Not trying to win them, but you're not going to be able to coerce, or not even coerce. I'm trying to use the best word. You're not going to be able to tell somebody anything if you offended them off top. So we actually, I mean, I'm not trying to brag on them, but we cool people to come across this little information with, you know what I'm saying, to walk with, because I'm not going to judge you and talk bad about you no matter what way you come out of this the reset button. No matter what you got from this, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to call you back. I get frustrated talking to some people sometimes, but I don't ever call them out their name and, you know what I'm saying, they did that and the other. But there's some brothers and sisters out there that will talk so bad about you because you still believe in this after they presented some truth or whatever. And it's all over Facebook posts. And me and Yeti Yap was talking about that a little bit earlier this week, you know, how there's some people out there, man, they got some truth. They know some Hebrew. They know they could probably speak it better than anybody on here, but they ain't got the truth. And their spirits ain't right. They coming off of some whole other stuff. So I think it's just a blessing to come across it, you know what I'm saying, with the right people and with the right heart. You know, we all got to come at this thing, you know, with the right heart and wanting to know exactly what is the truth. Because a lot of times people don't really want to know the truth, and I was going to make a post today. It's like some people don't really want to know the truth. They just want to know that their truth is the truth. So if you get to talking something that ain't got nothing to do with what they believe, they going to kind of let you go and it's not that you ain't speaking truth, but you ain't brought enough scriptures. It's just that ain't what they trying to believe. They, you know, a lot of times people got to hold on to what they hold on to, and it is a process. But neither here nor there. That's all I can say. On my end.
So I got a question for you, Yosef.
Yeah, go ahead with it.
Would you like to just turn this into a rest show?
I'm sorry.
Man, I don't know. Like I said, it kind of rolled into something like.
Huh?
I don't know. Like I said, I know it'll make me no difference because you know next week was supposed to be a rest show. It just kind of rolled into that, but like you said, it ain't much.
We almost an hour in and we ain't started yet.
I know, but it ain't much in these chapters. Like we know that much. one of the chapters is like 6 verses long. And then it's like caveating off of what he was like speaking, proclaiming to different people. He's talking to different people. It ain't much in there, so we could do it and get it out the way. It's just like this. It was just needed to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? So we just let the Most High move, and if that's what people wanted to talk about, we all throw. You know what I'm saying? If we got a whole bunch of heavy stuff, we might say leave it to the end. But the fact that we didn't, if we might have had some air to dap in, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want it to sit on people hard heavy. Also, you know what I'm saying, for 2-3 weeks, and then they go around, they forget all about what they was about to say. You know what I'm saying? And they really want to say something. And this is, what we say it as far as, because we should be, you know what I'm saying, more so like family. Be able to just like, all right, look, man, I know we had a show, but look, man. Right. So I appreciate that too, man.
All right, so
we can do what we can do.
I'm gonna mute Hokuma's mic. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add.
No, I'm good.
Okay, I'm gonna mute your mic. Go ahead and press 1. Phil, I'm gonna let you in again, and then after this one, we're gonna move forward and go ahead and tackle these chapters so we can get up out of here. Phillip, you live.
All right, I'm gonna try to be quick. I was listening to Sister Hakma, and like I said, a lot of thoughts been going through my head, and I remember something my brother told me, and it's just something he told me. It's not something you ought to take for truth or anything. He was like, history is his story, mystery is my story, and history is something that people tell you about. So when you think of history, we all kind of taught the same thing in some kind of way, that history says this is how it went, this is how you should remember it went, and whatever. Mystery is kind of how you look at it, your perspective of it, and how you take it, and how you form your own perception of what it is. So it's kind of your own way of taking what's been taught to you. So that's kind of how my brother taught me how to take information sometimes. When it says history, and then you hear it as a mystery, it's kind of for each person to take it. You can make the argument why you have Baptists, you have different denominations of the church, because it's probably just a mystery to them, and they took it their own separate way. So I bring that out because I want to address something Sister Hakma said, and she's drawn far away from Christ and everything like that. I'm gonna just say it like I say all the time. I'm just in the air. I'm not taking a side right now because I want to get to the truth. I can't figure it out, but I can't get there. But I can only think of certain things. So when I hear like, all right, we're gonna take everything somebody ever said about Christ, and we're gonna take it and say, well, we shouldn't take it accountability for it or anything like that. Then you got to start thinking of stuff like Black history, like Martin Luther King. All right, so Martin Luther King was a Christian and he believed in Christ. So we're saying like everything he believed in was just completely wrong. Then what we say about our history in our own way, like, do we just say, all right, this just happened that way because God wanted it to happen that way, or do we take any respect, or do we give any respect to Martin Luther King, the life he lived, what he believed in, anything like that? So that's why I don't really like jumping. I don't want to go so extreme or any direction, because there is good. There is, at the end of the day, there's good in the middle. There's somewhere, somehow, something good happened. So you just can't just disannul it. You can't take it all the way away. And that's why I predicated my first comments off of, we got to be careful how we take all new information. Yeah, it's new information. Now it's somewhere we've seen something different, or it's a whole new light and when we see it. But then we have to understand, too, that, all right, we ain't the only one that's identifying that this is probably was a little off. But then again, there's got to be something there. Some good came out of it. Because if nothing good came out of it, then we gotta say ain't no such thing as Black history. Ain't no such thing as, Martin Luther King that believed in Christ, that did all these good things that we celebrate so much, and so that's why I'm like, I like to tread the water. I like to stay around and just I don't get in the deep sea until I know for sure I'm convinced. When I'm convinced, then I'll go deep. I'll go way deep with you. I'm just on shallow water because I just want to know. I really want to know how this thing is going to play out. I'm navigating closely, but, I take what my brother told me. He's a real smart guy. He's very intelligent, and he's been in the Word a lot. Like, I model after him because he's so smart. He picks up things, so he grasps information so great. So that's for me. It might not be for you, but I look at it as history. Is somebody telling you or telling a lot of people that this is how stuff went down. You think about like you brought up Christmas and stuff. We all know, or we all should know, it's a pagan holiday, but made out of Roman. Romans had a big impact during the time that, let's say Christ existed and he was in this time. It was the same time that, he existed. Why do we even have a 2017? Because we go off of BC. BC means Christ, and then AD means end of the day. It's like a whole bunch of stuff that you have to start questioning when you start thinking about this thing. Really, if you want to get deep, you got to start questioning a lot of stuff, like timeline. Because if we're going off the timeline in our history, it predicates off of the life of Jesus Christ. Now, what year are we really in? We must be in year 2,200,000. I don't know what year we're in, but we're just predicating stuff off of stuff that we've been believed so much. We have grown so much to believe as far as history goes. What we've been taught together. So is it 2017 or what really? That's why I just like to tread slowly, because when you start really getting deep and really start getting extreme, then you got to start questioning everything. So I don't want to get there yet. I just like to keep things in perspective, like I said with the scriptures, because you're gonna have to start questioning a whole lot of things. But that's all I had to say. I think I said everything.
He said once you question it, you got to question everything. That was deep.
Exactly.
I do want to respond. I think Sister Hawk will have something else to say. Okay, so now, maybe we could just make this question, because it seems to be that this is like one of those subjects, and I don't know how you. Well, let's see how. I know Sister Huffman wants to respond. We can see how this goes, because this is what we asked for. We kind of asked for y'all to talk, and now the first time that y'all wanted to talk, y'all want to talk now. I'm laughing. It's a joke. It's funny to me that I'm happy about the interaction. Like, real talk. Like, we've been doing this for 2 years, and this is the most we really had. You know what I'm saying? Some back and coming from two unlikely sources, to be honest with you. So that's why I don't want to muzzle anything y'all got to say, because y'all don't speak that much. Now, Brother Mercy, he speak every time. You know what I'm saying? I'm long-winded. That type of deal. I'm nobody. Brother Mercy, we talk all day about nothing, but y'all seriously got something that y'all want to say. So I don't want to stop it like that. I don't know how y'all feels about that personally. But just a quick response to what you're saying. This is it. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. This ain't really a tread lightly thing. This is trying to find out the truth. And when you find out the truth, I'm gonna use this analogy. It's like an onion. When you get to peeling away at that thing or cutting away at it, till you get to the core, you about to cry. There's about to be some aroma coming off of that thing, and you're going to realize that you done had skin and all this extra stuff protecting you from the truth. So it will be a point where you flustered and stuff like that. And as far as, and this ain't no disrespect to what the man did, but he ain't got me nowhere, Martin Luther King. He had a good speech, and we still got a lot of inequality. We got some migration into the school systems, and little black boys and little black girls are able to play, little black, whatever, however you said it, are able to play together. But we still got a long way to go. But he didn't save me from anything. I'm not saying he did. But his beliefs, I liked Malcolm X. I don't believe what he believed, but I respect him as a man. I respect a lot of people that I don't believe what they believe because it's, the Most High gave you that. They gave them that brain and that will and that want to do certain things. So I respect a lot of people, but I respect a lot of Muslims because there's a lot of smart brothers out there that's Muslims, and I can listen to them. And sometimes to listen to somebody's wisdom and take what they take and then apply it to your own life and then move forward, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't have to believe what he believes because I don't think, I'm not sure what he knew. You know what I'm saying? But, and I'm not sure what his total belief was, so I can't go against, what he believes. I'm just saying if it doesn't line up with where the Most High has taken me personally, you know what I'm saying, as far as murdering the Hebrew and finding out this type of stuff, I can't hold on to nobody's perspective. I have to hold on to what the Most High has given me. And the way that he's given me is unequivocal at the time. Like, we have stuff that we don't know, okay? We got the Isaiah 9, we just like, okay, this could be there. We don't know yet. We're going to see. And that's an unknown. Then we got the Isaiah 7. We say, well, look, if you're denying this, you don't want to know the truth because this is what this said. So now we have a dilemma. We have a dilemma because this is what it say, this is what's written, and then this is an addition to tell me this is what it say. Now, as far as history, this is what supposedly supposed to be our history on what is written on the belief system, religion, whatever you want to say, on what we follow, like we was talking about last week. So this is how we're going to have to fashion to say this is how it happened as far as history. Now, you got some history books that's even written and intertwined into the biblical thing as far as who took over who, and these captivities are in other people's encyclopedias, Britannicas, and it has nothing to do with biblical. It has something to do with the Persians and this, that, and the other. When you look them people up and they tell you who they took over, going into Israel was one of their takeovers. It just so happens that it correlates with the word. So, and somebody had to tell that story. So, but yet and still, this is where we're gotta have some kind of foundation. And if we're not gonna believe no history, like I've heard people say, then we might as well throw it all out because at this point, this is kind of what we read as far as the kings and what prophets and stuff said, and this, that, and the other. Or if he even existed. While we're going through Isaiah, we're trying to figure out, was he the one spoke about in this? As one thing that I want to make sure that I do say is just the thought process to put on your mind. A figure that is so important to believe in your salvation should be spoken about clearly and plain. We've seen the Most High be clear and plain about a lot of stuff. So, to me, honestly, and this is my personal opinion, if I want you to know about something, I'm going to put it in your face. I'm going to put it in your face so you can know. And then you got to make your decision on something that I clearly told you, this, that, and the other, because he clearly told us what to do and what not to do. And so, as he clearly told us what to do and what not to do, this would fit in one of those to-dos and not-to-dos, if you ask me. Because it's do this in salvation, don't do it, and it's not. So, for me, while I'm going back through this stuff, I'm actually looking for, okay, does he say this clearly? Because if he does, man, I could change my mind again. That's the beauty of it. Like, I could change my mind again and say, you know what? He said it right here. It's clear as day. I missed it the first time. But like what happened with me is I didn't reset my whole mind coming onto this show. It's the reset button, and literally, I promise you, I said I'm resetting everything except for this and this and this. I think that's how I actually address my stance on the reset button, and I actually have to apologize even to myself because that wasn't the intent of the show. And honestly, man, and now I've actually reset myself, and now I can't tell you certain stuff. Like, I don't know nothing. Like, at this point, I don't know about afterlife. I don't know about hell, heaven, none of that. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm trying to get all of that. You know what I'm saying? And up until this point, from Genesis up until now, I haven't seen anything clear-cut to say, let me add Christ in. Because at this point, you have to add him into my reset. And once I found out it was some stuff, that's when I said, oh, you know what? I'm not going to take nothing else with me. I have to reset. So that's with my stance more so, you're going to get more out of me because I'm a different person than y'all. We all think and act different. More so out of me, you're going to get more of a, well, I ain't seen him yet. Well, they say he's this. And it's not to be condescending or to knock anybody. It's truth. I'm going to come with some real truth when I say, well, I ain't seen him because I haven't. That's the truth. And no matter what people have told me, that don't mean that is the truth because they told me that. Now, that's all I want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, I have so much that I could not say at this moment that I could bring out, you know what I'm saying? I haven't fashioned a rest show on particularly my beliefs, and I haven't tried to perpetuate all the evidence that I've piled up in one way, you know what I'm saying, to form an opinion. I haven't done that, and I kind of refuse to do it because I don't want to sway anybody's mind. And I want you to see what the book say, and it's on you after that to make that decision on whether or not you want to go with what the book say or you want to go with what somebody told you, you know, personally. And yeah, some people like your brother feel like there's some people out there that went straight to that extreme. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard not to see stuff and say I've been lied to, and I can't believe. You know, if some people say, well, if I ain't going to believe this, I ain't going to believe none of it. I can't get there. I'm not there where I say, if I ain't going to believe this, I ain't going to believe none of it. But it's some things that I say, well, you know what? Now you're going to have to prove this to me. Because from Genesis to Isaiah, and that's where we at, this is what I see, this is what I know, this is what I can go with. I can't go with nothing else. And that's just what we're trying to find out. That's where the mission statement come in. The mission statement say, is it the one spoken of? You know, this, that, and the other. That's where we at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's hard. I promise you. This is the truth. I'm finna get a little spiritual with y'all if y'all don't mind. I asked the Most High for some truth like 2-3 years ago. I said, I just want to know the truth. Also, I spoke back to me and say, do you really want to know the truth? I said, yes. I didn't know what I was asking for. After that, I've heard and came across so much stuff that it ain't even funny. I'm talking about this is way before, you know what I'm saying, anything about New Testament. This coming back from getting out of Sunday church. But I'm gonna concede, and I see Sister Hawkmore is back in the queue. So, I think she wants to respond to you. I'm going to let her in, and then we're going to move on from there. Hold on. All right. Everybody mic live. How about that?
Everybody mic live. Can you hear me? Hello? No?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I don't know who's doing the speaking, so I don't want to say Phillip, Jeff, whoever had addressed what I had said. And you don't personally know me, but for those who do, for me to say, hey, I don't believe in Jesus, that wasn't easy for me to say. However, when I say I don't believe in Jesus, I mean it's him being my Lord and Savior. And Ezekiel shows me that he's not my Lord and Savior. So I do stand on, no, I don't believe that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. Now, do I believe he didn't exist as far as you saying his story? Hey, I wasn't there. So I can't say he didn't exist. That's like me saying Martin Luther King. I could say, hey, I wasn't there either. So that is history that's there that said, hey, they're saying he existed in the so-called New Testament. It's possible. Do I see his bones and his, his children and his grandchildren running around here? No, he didn't have children. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say he didn't literally exist. What I'm saying, I don't believe that he's my Lord and Savior per Scripture. I haven't seen that. And so for me to read something that says, hey, I'm accountable for my own sins, my son is accountable for his sins. When I pass away, I pass away. I haven't, so that's all I was saying. I'm not saying history didn't exist because I wasn't there. Now, for him to have history, I'm not understanding how come we still don't see history as far as him existing. I can say Martin Luther King existed. So that's all. I wasn't saying that he, I didn't want you to think like, oh, my goodness, this girl done just lost her mind saying this man never existed. All I can say is I just know who he is to me. And he's not my Lord.
I know Martin Luther King got some videos and a speech that I can actually see on. You know what I'm saying? I can't say Martin Luther King ain't. I mean, it was some dude that was on that podium. That's all I do know. You know what I mean? As far as on that aspect, as far as Martin Luther King, I'm not gonna go down the other line, but I mean, if Martin Luther King ain't exist, them videos, bro, some cold doctored up videos, and everybody know I had a dream speech. So
no, that's just an example that I was using because that's what he has stated. But there's we have technology then that they didn't have back then. So all we going by is what Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John wrote about this man, or someone else probably wrote about this man. But as far as him being the Lord and Savior is just the only part that I'm stating that that I don't believe in. So I just wanted him to know the back part. As far as his story, that's history. That's his story. That's all I can say. So that's all I wanted to address. I just didn't want him to think I was going by anything that you brothers have said to me, or I just read it. And that's when I was like, oh, my goodness. And so that's huge.
And I will attest to that. She was like, if you don't leave my Jesus alone, literally would say, if you better get off of him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna let that go. And that's what people don't understand. You have to understand somebody's growth to know that the dramatic change has happened. It had to have been something dramatic. I could attest. She would say this. I have never stopped believing in Jesus. That's what she said. I would never. I don't know. Let me be. You know what I'm saying? That's how she used to be. So, yeah, you live. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Now I was just to respond to what she said, and maybe I said it. I don't know, but I wasn't trying to say that that's what you were proclaiming. But what I said in one of my earlier comments that, we have people who are naive, we have people who are convinced, we have people who are brainwashed and everything like that. And then I said that for me, I'm just the person I'm just navigating I'm trying to understand everything for myself. And so my whole point, my whole preference in bringing up, icon or people we can relate to, or people or things like Martin Luther King, stuff that are tangible because Christ is so far gone, so far away. We don't know the existence real. We just take everybody else's story. So it's like his story and his story and his story. So you take all these things. And that's why I was bringing out history and mystery and what you believe. And so you are convinced that Jesus Christ is not your Lord and Savior, and that's just, to me, is very, very beautiful. But Brother Shemaiah brought out something really, really good that I was like saying that's good. Is that when you have friends that has not gotten there yet, and you knew you were there, for sure you were at that point where leave my Jesus alone, and you have friends that thinks like that, then you have to try to find a way. As strong-minded as y'all may be, you strong-minded and you change your mind at the end of the day, you have to leave that potential for conversation or communication for her to, or he, I don't know who it is, to get to that point. Okay, so you have to get that person time too. because
and it's I promise you it's not that way. It's the other way around. I don't bring up Jesus or I don't bring up scriptures with this person. It's the other way around because they know who the man that I'm with don't believe. So they trying to make sure, hey, I got to keep her on the Jesus path. So it's her that always brings it up. I don't. I'm not that type of person. Because I'm fine with walking this walk all by myself. For me in this house, I'm fine walking alone. I don't go around spreading the so-called gospel, the so-called truth, because I'm just the type of person, I have to live this life, you have to live yours. So it's the other way around. It's always been brought to me, and I'm like, So no, I don't bash people who believe in Jesus. I don't. My whole entire family believes in Jesus, and they know that I don't. But guess what? They still call me, and I still call them. So it's not. It's the other way around. It's not me.
And
I don't care really.
It's kind of the same with me. It's like, I get my brother. My brother's like so far. I don't know what you call it. So far against Christ, and then my family that's been raised on Christ for their whole life, and then I'm like the one person I can understand both sides, and so it's easier to communicate with the brother that don't believe in Christ at all than it is because they just when you've been brought up and you believe in something so long, it's very very difficult to change that, especially when you've been and I give some truth or some thought to the fact that. Because of slavery, this thing has been put in us or been bred in us or we've been believed into it because it gives us some type of hope, just from being depressed for so many years. So I give that some type of stability or some truth or point to it. So it's very difficult for people to get off of believing in something that, that gives you hope when you've been depressed for so many years and so long. And I can think of the story of you can think of the story of Israel. You can take it the same way, but it's to me it's like at the end of the day, how do you get the truth to people and they can receive it in a way that it's not forced on them, aggressive. They feel like they're being challenged or contradicted or I don't know. It's like a negative approach, So it's like, how do you do that? And so for me, the only way I know how to get to that point is to understand the information, up until the point it's been presented to me. So that's how I process it. That's just how my mind works. I'm not so naive to just take information and say, oh Lord, it's just some of it, it's surprising. But I'm like, all right, hold up. So, wow, I just found out some new information. So now I got to go back to this. I'm like a math person. I've always been math. This is my life. So now I have to try to figure out why it don't add up. So that's just how I think. This don't add up. And so when we got to that story and it's like, wow, it didn't add up. How it didn't add up? Because, people in school, you solve the problem, but they want you to know how you know how to solve the problem, how you check the thing. Go back in reverse and check it. So now I'm in reverse. I'm like, all right, now I got to check it from another end. How does it add up? So that's where I'm at right now. So it's like the problem is solved, but now you got to check the problem.
Let me say something about. This is where I stand. It's not too deep into it, but this is my point about you were saying that you talk about something that gave them hope, and now you're trying to take the hope away. Actually, no, I'm actually telling you that it's been hope, and we have to look toward the source that the hope is in now to be put in that position. That's my stance. So it's like a lot of times people say, well, he gave grace, and I'll be like, here's grace. He showed mercy. Here's the Most High showing mercy. Well, we needed sacrifices. Here's the Most High saying he don't need that. It's so many instances where people say this is the need for the hope, when I'm saying the Most High is the hope. That's where I'm at now. And I had said something to, I said, once I got rid of the person that is in between me and the Most High, and I have to stand before him, you know what I'm saying, and account for everything that I'm doing, it's put me on a whole nother level of thinking. Because now it ain't really it ain't really nobody dying for my sins. Now it's me being accountable for everything that I do. And also he took away, I've said this, he took away the sacrifices. So you have to really, you ain't got no measurement for what you did but you. You going to get punished for what you did personally. You can't even get a goat ready. You know what I'm saying? It's a more of a personal level. So more so like when you're talking to someone and you're not trying to say, it is some people out there bashing people hope, but it's more so when you're doing it, you have to do it more so if that's the path you're taking. No, it's not that I'm taking your hope away. I'm showing you who the hope really is. I'm going to show you what the Most High say. And through everything that we believe, the only thing that should stand strong is not anybody but what the Most High say. And if, you know what I'm saying, and now I'm not arguing with atheists or people that don't believe this book, but if you believe this book, we're going to go by what the Most High say, and then anybody that contradicts that, I won't believe them. I don't care where they at. That's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
and
so I'm gonna just say one thing. Well, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna just say this. Now, I'm gonna just put it in the lines of, all right, I have agreed with Yada years ago. We had this conversation like a long time ago. You know, we said, okay, do you believe that Jesus Christ and God is the same thing? I'm like, no. So I already established that like a long time ago. But when I look at the message itself, you take the message for itself. Everything you read about the message, that I don't see where it contradicts anything about the Most High. I don't see anything about the message itself contradicting anything but the Most High. Now, until maybe you can find something in there that I have not read.
Hello? Hello?
His call.
I think his line cut out on. So I'm going to give him a couple, I guess, to call back. I don't know. I was reaching over. I wanted to be able to finish his thought for sure. And I haven't heard that man's voice but one time before this. But that's a good thing.
All right, he back.
Okay.
All right,
you let him back in?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Sorry, I got cut off. Yeah, somehow I got cut off. I don't know why. But I was saying, unless there's like if there's any evidence of it being where, you know, the message itself that was, you know, New Testament, the message itself is contradicting, then other than the end, I agree up to that point. Other than the message itself, I just don't feel it contradicts. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't hold no offense to it. I take it for what it is, you know. It says love God with all your heart, mind, soul, body, everything like that, and love your neighbor as you will love yourself. But I'm like the two greatest commandments that, you know. So I don't see where it's contradicting. Like it says, serve me, make me God, make me this. I don't see all of this stuff. Well, I don't know how.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What do you feel like the message is in the New Testament yourself? Like, what is the message in your perspective? What is the need for, basically, what would be the need for the New Testament if it doesn't contradict the Old, and you're basically telling me that to follow the commandments that the Old Testament or Tanakh says already? So it has to be a purpose behind it, and I knew a purpose that I had.
Okay, so you just said, all right, I'll put it like this. So you just said, all right, so you just said for your own salvation and to for what you believe and what you think that God wants from you, the Most High wants from you, is for you to, you know, be a certain way or live a certain way, and you know that's fine with me. But I look at the Old Testament. This is like I guess you can call it a deal breaker or what. But when you said what you just said, I thought about the veil or whatever. So now we don't have to sacrifice lambs and all of these things anymore But, this is Old Testament ritual or ways that God expected that, to atone for sins or whatever you want to call it. So I guess the dealing with sins is really the biggest thing for me. The understanding and the dealing with sins is the biggest thing between the New Testament and the Old Testament for me. So can I go directly to God myself and atone for my own sins, ask God for forgiveness for my own sins and all the things like this? If not, is there a priest that is, existing among earth that I'm supposed to go and give these things to so I can atone for my sins? Because we all sin in some type of way. But when it comes to the New Testament and the Old Testament and dealing with sins, that's really the deal breaker, and that's really I'm really trying to
guess
understand.
What?
And
this is what I'll say. I'm going to say this in two aspects. I'm going to give you something that we already went over. I don't know if you was on the show on what was dealt with and how the Most High had approved of something. And I'm going to also say this. It is some things that talked about what someone should do when they're in captivity. Because in captivity is away from the place where he allows these sacrifices to even happen. You can't just do them. So we're going to get to that. I don't want to go into none of that, but that's what it is some things that the Most High says. But let's go backwards because I can go backwards. Solomon said, what happens when your people sin against you, because they will sin, and they in the land of captivity? And he understood what the problem would have been. He said, if they spread their hands to you, change their ways, you know what I'm saying, will you forgive them? And the Most High agreed.
People will call by my name.
Yes. So, exactly. So the Most High tells you plenty of times, hey, I know I'm finna put you somewhere, but if you change, if you truly change, I will forgive you. I'm not even going to trip over these sacrifices. And he even said that in the beginning of Isaiah, in Isaiah 1. In Isaiah 1, he say, if you change, if you turn, you know what I'm saying, I'll wipe your sins as white as scarlet. He didn't say anything about a sacrifice. We've put sacrifices in there. Literally, he's like, all right, I don't care about sacrifices. He said that already. And he also said if we change, and this is previously to, I'm not even going to go beyond where we at already, just where we at. He already has told us a couple times, sacrifice ain't what he care about. He care about the repentance and us being, obedient, of course. And he will forgive us. We've got to the point where we say, no, we need the sacrifice. Most I said, no, you don't. We said, yes, we do. We're telling him what he needs to forgive us. He's the one that we sinned against. So he initially tell you, whether or not he forgive you or not. Let's not forget David. He said, I forgive you, but I am going to punish you for it. Okay? And he didn't tell him, well, go ahead, bring your lamb, your goat, and this, that, and the other, because there was no sacrifice for adultery. There was no merit for adultery. It was on the Most High to give him the merit to what he was going to pay for. It was really more so his life. So now, literally, your sacrifices is your life. You can play with them if you want to, but you might go through some things. And I've seen that. That's just using examples, as far as the David thing. David did it, but he said, look, it ain't going to go unpunished. The son died, and I mean, almost everything we know David did, it was a punishment behind it. So I could take that example and say, well, you know what? If I do something, I could be punished for this severely. I don't want to go through what David did. But at least I still have my life, I guess. I say at least I still got my life. But I don't want to be punished like that. So I just think, let me do right. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, if you do something righteous is not never sinning. Because the righteous man falls 7 times. How are you righteous and you fail 7 times? So it's not about not sinning. It's about your pursuit to being right. And the fact that you fail, you could still fall and be righteous.
That's why the scriptures say that. So if your pursuit is to be right, he honored that. It's like that's the really, if you anybody want to say, well, God knows my heart, that's the really knowing your heart, because he like, hey, he trying his hardest. He messed up. All right, I forgive him. You know what I'm saying? So that's an aspect. That's the biggest thing, and honestly, that is the biggest thing. So the biggest thing is, what do we do for sin? Okay, and I think as we go through this thing, we should start looking at if the Most High addresses that. We already seen him address it twice, at least twice. And also, well, we've seen Samuel talk about it. Obedience is better than sacrifices. Those little things let you know. We also see an example I had on my Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Where he told Moses was like, hey, look, not blot me out your book of life. Your book, he say, no, the man that sins against me will pay for it. So the Most High is letting you know, whoever does the deed don't have to answer to him. We have to start taking more accountability for what we're doing. And now we don't have a scapegoat or escaped lamb. We have nothing to fall back on but our own actions and us dealing with the Most High. And it's a scary thing, and I think that's why a lot of people don't want to deal with it. You're trying to tell me that I really have to deal with my own accountability. Yes. We have to get to that point where we say, you know what, I messed up. My father's messed up. Forgive us and point us in the right direction. That's, and that's just only bringing the scriptures in that we went over so far. Not nothing but as we go through it, hey, let's keep looking. That's the thing. Let's keep looking. Let's keep trying to figure out what the Most High got to say about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not asking nobody to just say, hey, yeah, boom, jump as radical as me. Because actually it wasn't as radical as people think. I didn't go to sleep for about a week. And I did some real hard studying. And every time I came back, I had a whole bunch of other stuff to say. And so understand me when I say it was hard for me to say, what? Something's not right.
Okay. I'm gonna just end my part, because this is a lot that I probably.
You can't end your part. Wait, you can't end your part because I have something I want to ask you.
Well, I say ending it.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait, I gotta ask you a question. Okay.
Oh, you got a question for me? Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, because I have this question for other people, and then my question is, you said the scripture in the New Testament is love God with all your might, heart, and soul. First, you have to know how to do that. You can't do it your way. And then it says, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Well, you actually still need to know how to do that, because I'm going to give you an example. I was in a relationship, and you know that they're saying, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That's the same thing as loving thy neighbor as I love thyself. Now, I'm very nosy. So if you got your book sitting on my table, I'm going to go through your book. If you got your wallet sitting here, your purse, whatever, I'm just giving you some examples. Not saying they're right or wrong. I'm just telling you how nosy that I am. So then you turn around and go do it to me. I'm not going to have a problem with it, because guess what? I'm doing unto you as I do unto myself. I'm loving you as I love myself. But then you're like, you wouldn't want nobody to do that to you? I don't care, because I do the same thing. So my question would be, how do someone know how to love thy neighbor as I love thyself? Because I sit here and I put cigarette holes in my arms, and this is loving me. I cut myself because it feels good. But then if I do it to someone else, they're like, do you lost your mind? But guess what I just did? I did unto you as I do unto myself. I'm loving you as I love myself. So I'm doing these things. So we can't say that and then say, well, no, don't go and say that's not loving yourself if you do that. How are you going to tell me how I love me? So we have to know how to do these things. So my question would be, if you say that to someone, how do you tell someone how to do these things with just love thy neighbor as you love thyself? There has to be ways to how do you do this. that was my question. How do you say, okay, I love God as I love Him with all my heart and all my mind and all my soul, but then you're blatantly just disobedient, and there has to be rules and guidelines, basically is what I'm saying. So just say that's how Jesus said, let's do this. Okay, how do I do that?
Well, I have to really look at the scripture for itself, but I don't know if the context is in the sense of the context you can put it in. But for argument's sake, then I don't see it as you loving yourself. That's just me. I don't see. I see it as some deep-rooted problems that may have caused from your past or anything that would cause that type of behavior to even exist. That's just how I look at it from just a human standpoint. Now, I have to look at the scripture for itself and really grasp the complete context, but I think the context from the scripture was really just alluding to the point where, you have different personalities and people wanting to know, who do you accept and who do you don't supposed to accept in that type of a sense. So the whole point and for me, for the context of the scripture, the whole point is you're supposed to accept everybody. That's just my whole thing. As far as love, you show passion. You show you don't. You may know people have problems and issues and everything of that nature. That you go through the same problems, you may have some of the same issues. You can understand them. I just think that as for the scripture point, it's just you got to understand everybody as an individual that they go through things. So that's why I look at it when he said, "Love thy neighbor as you love yourself." We all got issues, so don't bash somebody or don't make somebody feel low because you may have overcome something and they haven't overcome it or not. I don't look at it as
what's the way you look at it?
As to me, when you show love to somebody, you show them as a level of understanding, as a fact that you know what, this person going through a whole lot of stuff. I may never.
That's how you look at it, right? That's how you look at it. I'm a cold piece over here. Okay, so I was very cold. Everyone has their own different of what they say love is. That's why I said, so that's how you look at it.
I mean, well,
so we need
to me, every aspect of love, for me, what I've read in the Bible, what I've read and seen, every aspect of it is just say sin is, oh my God, what's the analogy you use? You only see yourself. When you sinning, you only can think about yourself. But it's an analogy. It's actually a word. S-I-N means something. But self-indulge, negligence, I don't know what it is. But when you think of sin, you only think for yourself. You only think about you. That's what I always been taught. Like when you think of sin, you only think about yourself. In the moment of sinning, it's all about you. You don't think about nobody else. So I think love battles that or competes against that because now you put somebody else's interests above your own. So it's like, all right, it ain't about me no more. It's about, dang, this person here got a whole lot of other things going on. So that's just the basic, for me, that's the basic how I look at the difference between love and sin. Because you only sin because you're only thinking about yourself at the time. You only really care about you, And some people might say because
so what is sin to you?
Huh?
What is sin to you?
Sin to me is a self and gratification. It's something you're doing for your own self gratification. That's how I look at it. I don't know how to look at it.
Okay.
It's self gratification to me. It's something that I want for me. It can be harmless. At the end of the day, it's something that I really care just for me. At the end of the day, I'm trying to get my best interest out of hand. You got people like, all right, let's use an analogy to Warren Buffett. Let's do this.
Give me an example other than fornication. I want an example other than fornication because that's probably like what everybody gonna run to. But give me an example other than fornication on something that you feel is something that you like doing that is sin. I'm trying to get because you can still enjoy yourself.
Self-gratification.
I have a good time But I ain't out there. I ain't got to shoot nobody to have a good time. I ain't got to steal from nobody to have a good time. I can just have a good time and still not sin. So that's what I'm saying. Give me an example. So
like in church they teach you like smoking or drinking and all this stuff is a sin. I don't look at it like that as a sin. To me, I don't look at it like it's a sin because I don't see where you're doing any harm to anybody for smoking or drinking. You're doing harm to your own body. You know, you can say that, but if you're going to say I'm doing harm to my own body, eating certain things do harm. Eating chips is a sin, then if you're going to go to that level or to that extremity. But I just look at it in a sense like when you're taking somebody else livelihood, I don't know how to say it, and you're using that for your own. Like, Mike, all right, I'm gonna just put it like this: America itself is based off of like a lot of bad to me is sin. Like you just take things like I was gonna use the example of Warren Buffett. How he got rich is because he saw poor people didn't have this. I don't know if y'all seen that movie Fences, but it brings out a lot of stuff. It brings a lot of good things about, especially black people, what they deal with in America. But you know, you take people like white rich people who can benefit off of poor black people. Warren Buffett did that with the mobile homes, and you upcharge them. These homes not worth anything. At the end of the day, you buy a home or you invest in a home that at the end of the day don't give you any value. So you're losing value your whole time of owning this home. So you just becoming a greater debt than you become. To me, sin is the equivalent of debt, of owing somebody something. So when you sin, it's like you're taking out a bad loan. It's like a whole bunch of things that I look at sin is. You know, like taking out a bad loan, doing something crazy to hurt your own self. It's like a self-negligence, some type of self-induction. To you, it's a gratification. It's something that you need and everything, but you don't look at the truth behind it, what's going on. It's like a lost cause, a lost hope. Like you don't know that God has something better for you or whatever it could be. It's like a whole I don't look at it as sex and all these things, although you got to look at the principles too, principles of God and trust and faith, all these things that are spirit. You have to look at those things in perspective, but then your actions, is it beneficial or is it hurting you at the end of the day? And that's why I basically boil sin down to, is it helping you or is it hurting you? You know, you play the lottery, they say it's bad to play the lottery. Hey, I have mixed emotions about the lottery because, all right, I use one scripture. You can judge
okay,
me
let me put it like this.
One Go ahead.
As far as sin, let's just use the word sin. This is something that we done been over before. I think it was one of the shows. Okay, sin is really an offense to someone. That's when it's like, well, I sinned against you. It doesn't have to be against the Most High. It could be against some person, and it's basically really an offense.
You can sin against yourself. It's death.
Right. You can sin against yourself. I guess you could say that you've offended yourself. And see, and technically, that is just how what you feel is to sin against yourself. Like you said, you're not hurting nobody. So we don't see drinking being a sin unless it's told that you some kind of priest or you taking a Nazarite vow and you can't drink. You cannot drink, you know what I'm saying, while you're doing a Nazarite vow, this, that, and the other. So other than that, the Most High ain't say that drinking was a sin. That's what we've added to it. So inevitably, if you have a drink, it's not that you sin because you had a drink. If you had that drink and you decided to go kill somebody, the killing was the sin. All right. Also, you know what I'm saying, hey, you don't have to get to a point where you can't control yourself. Everybody's got a different control limit. So, you know what I'm saying, if you decide to have a couple drinks, okay, that's fine. All right, I ain't seen no Torah law against that. So when we talk about the sin against the Most High, it would have to be according to what He told us to do and what He didn't tell us to do. And not trying to beat around the bush or try to side wink it to where,
you know it's wrong, but you're trying to get away with it. It's just that church society has told us, and different churches take different things, has told us what was wrong. Whether or not it's, they say, okay, gambling. They say for some women don't wear pants. Shoot, I've heard as much as and I'm about to be real grown with y'all. I've heard and seen a video of a guy saying anything but the missionary position was a sin. Now, nowhere is that in any of those things technically. Well, the thing about the how you have intercourse with your spouse, that's not in the Bible. That's a man telling you this is what is a sin to God, to the Most High. Then you turn around and say, well, the pants, no. Then you use a scripture, but that's not technically what they say. Then the drinking, that's not in there. So that's why I asked, like, what is your equation to sin? Because if it's something that has to do with, because you can self-gratify, if that's what you want to call it. I'm gratified by reading the Word. I'm gratified by learning Hebrew at this point. Now, I know it's just, you're going to say, oh, no, but that has to do with God. I'm gratified. I have a drink every now and then. You know what I'm saying? I like to go out and enjoy myself. I done been to poetry thing that was adult poetry. You know what I'm saying? But I don't take it to the extreme to do with exactly what the world is out there doing. And I make sure it fits within the guidelines of what the Most High say and He allows. Like I said, I ain't putting nobody else in danger either. When I go do anything that I want to go do, I make sure that it fits within the bounds of protecting myself and protecting the people that's around me. That's why I asked you about an example, but I haven't heard nothing that is technically in the Bible. So that would be personal.
Yeah, that's my perception pretty much. Yeah, you said personal. It's perception.
So, like, just basically, all I'm gonna say is like we just have to get to a point. That's why we here. You know what I mean? We here, together to try to figure this thing out. Man, we here to try to find out the truth and what the world actually says. And these are good things to try to figure out because we all come from some sort of background. And most of it is based in I haven't met nobody yet on the show that hasn't been based in some form of the traditional church, of the traditional holidays and everything that we've done.
I denounced tradition a long time ago. I just don't believe in it. And
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we came from it. So we get into a point where we like, okay, what's the truth? Because I've been there.
Yeah, and
lack of better words, I'm in the wilderness.
The beauty to me, the beauty in all of this is the fact that, at the end of the day, to me, like, we all have, or at least for me, I believe we all have some thought, some perception of what we think or what we believe. Now, you cannot deny truth. That's the one thing you cannot ever deny. So we all can come to the agreement that, hey, you know what? Like in the military, the last checkpoint you had, we all could come back to the same checkpoint that we always started off where we last left off at, and we can go from that point. Even with video games, you die in a video game, it starts you off at the last checkpoint. So it's, the beauty of all of this is that we all got some resource of truth, some definitive answer that we can always go back to and check from and navigate together. And that's what I like about the whole. I mean, this is what I love about the whole show itself, is that we can always navigate back. And so, if I have to push the reset button and say, I'm like, I can't go this way again because I'll fall off the cliff. I got to go back to the way that everybody else realized. That's human nature. We humans, we get it wrong and we figure it out at the end of it might take one person longer than the next person. In a video game, you might die 7 times more than the other person died. to realize that you got to go this way to live, then that's just the reality. Is that we humans. It takes that long for one person to get it than the other person to get it. But some people just want to know why we can't go this way or we can't go that way.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. We hard-headed too. And as far as Israel, we see that they had prophets and stuff. I'm not saying they called anybody on the show prophet, but they had people warning them saying this is the right way to go. But they had to go bump their head. So even like reading this, you know what I'm saying, you know, we reading it, we saying, all right, this is what we reading. And I'm just going to give you what I'm going to say. If anybody listening online, we're going to go a little over. We didn't get a chance to go into the chapters. Y'all just don't have to, disappear.
We can double up next week on the scriptures.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Like I said, it wasn't much in it. And like I say, if there was something on your chest, that's what this is for. And, I mean, it kind of worked. It worked out better, man, because it worked out. It worked out because if it was something on your chest and like you said, you wanted to say something last week and you held on to it for a whole week, you know, that's a lot, especially because I'm pretty sure you twirl over stuff. So, but if anybody listening online, 516-595-8238, we got a couple more minutes. I want to give if you have something to say, man, I want to give you a chance to say because I know you say you got to make a move. I don't know if hold on, let me see something. You might have had to make the move.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
nah, I'm just listening, and it's a good thing. Like for me, like it's always been said, I don't have to talk. So people might wonder, like, where y'all? He ain't said nothing or whatever. Like you thought I might have been gone, but. Sometimes it's just good to sit back and listen. And, that's what I've been doing basically this whole show after the ball got rolling and we, it went in the direction that it went. I just sat back and I said, okay, this is my time to listen because we talk a lot. Like you said, we've been doing this 2 years and we are the panel. So every show I get to talk. And it's not really about me. It's not about me always, being on platform and always being able to speak. I'm not thirsty for affirmation. I'm not thirsty for having to be in the limelight or nothing like that. A lot of stuff I know I do, I gain a lot of my knowledge behind closed doors. So when I do come out and I present myself, people be like, man, like, I didn't know he knew all this, or I didn't know, he was able to do this, because I don't walk around boastfully. I don't talk a lot. I don't display a lot of stuff. I do what needs to be done, and that's it. So for me, I am about to leave, but for me, this was a good show. It went in a different direction, which is cool. This is what we've been asking for, like you said before. We've been asking for a lot of feedback. We've been asking for people to talk. And this is a big topic. This is something that, as we've been going through, we knew was going to come out, because this is Yeshayahu, this is Isaiah. This is one of the main books that is supposed to witness to the New Testament. And so Phil just dropped. So I don't know. He just dropped again. So I don't, maybe you can call him, or whatever, I don't know. But
maybe my stuff ain't refreshed. I'm like, I still see him on here. Yeah, okay, good. He's still in here. Yeah, it just wasn't, I don't know what yours is showing.
Oh, okay.
I picked it up and it say, cool. You right there. And I just heard him, so.
Okay, that's cool.
Go ahead, continue.
I'm glad. Yeah, so for me, it's more so, it's good to sit here and listen to what's running through people's mind. I'm glad to actually know stuff is running through people's mind. A lot of times you don't know if people don't speak up. You don't really know what's going on through people's head. You don't. I mean, we just continue, and as the panel, we are the ones that are somewhat required to actually go through each, word, each page, each chapter that we covering and present something. I don't know what other people are doing when we going through this. I don't know, like, when we say certain things, what's hitting their mind, especially the people that's listening, like, in places like, because one of the places, what was it, one of our places, they percentage jumped up. It was like 15%, and it ain't never been that high. I'm trying to remember what place it is, and it's a place where I have no idea who it is. Like, the new Dominican Republic popped up. I figured that was Phil because, his wife is there, and so I figured, well, that's where that's coming from, but some places, I think it's Norway. No, I don't know nobody.
Norway.
I don't know I have no idea who that could be. What's up?
Can I say something? Well, to me, I just believe, like, when you're sincere and you're passionate and when you're open and people can receive you a lot better, that's when it's really, really good. It's really, really perfect. It's like when, I have a godfather. I'm going to just say this. He said, you know what? You get stopped on the highway, flat tire, and you just want somebody to pull over. That person that you probably was mad at yesterday could have seen you on the highway, and they just kept going because you had a bad attitude with them at the end of the day. And I say that to say that the baseline, the beauty of the show is that it can remain open to everybody to receive. At the end of the day, we want everybody to receive. Everybody want to know the truth. I think everybody dialing at the end of the day because they just want to know the truth. If you ain't hungry for the truth, you ain't gonna call. You ain't gonna spend 3 hours of your day to just want to hear people talk. You want to, and as my last week, I wanted to chime in. A lot of the weeks I stay quiet because I just don't know. I don't know enough information to say. I can only think what I'm thinking. Maybe it's good to just chime in and tell you what I'm thinking, but if I'm not, like, I ain't did enough studying to feel like I have enough to say, I won't say it. And the show allows us now, I see, that to just speak your mind or speak what you see or what you feel or what you hear. And last week I wanted to chime in so bad, but my reception was so bad. I just like, they won't even hear me if I even push the one. But I didn't feel confident doing it. But I was hoping, like, I hit the one immediately. Like when I heard that, I hope somebody would. I hit one automatically. I went back out because he was still talking, so I was gonna let him finish out and then see if I should hit the one or not. And I hit it back again, and y'all let me in because there's a lot of stuff that's on people's mind. There's a lot of stuff that people want to hear. There's a lot of you might have answers to it already. And today I already got a lot of answers to things that I was bothering me from the last show. And I just feel like whatever y'all change, because I know y'all changed it where people can just push the one, y'all need to keep that because people can have immediate thoughts and might can't wait a whole week. I hold it for a whole week and I didn't even get everything out I wanted to say because it just built up. I was just studying on it just built up. So it's like a whole lot of information. I didn't get it all out. But, I think that whole pushing the one thing, because people can have immediate thoughts about things that they went through or they just want to know. I think y'all should keep that part and go with that. But I think the show is really doing good. And I think it'll pick up. I want my family. I told my family I want them to get in it. But I'm telling you, you got some strong-minded. I'm telling you, my family is strong-minded. They're going to come with some. I come with, like, some, maybe a grenade, but they're going to come with rocket launchers. Not to say, like, but they're going to come.
We understand, man. Look, this is the biggest thing, man, when dealing with some of this stuff, man. Like, literally, you're talking about taking and changing something that you knew for certain to be right because it's been repeated and repeated. So anytime the reset button, we always joke about it. That reset button is stiff, and to press it, it's like it's happened for me. Y'all said he done had hit his reset button. I don't know how tough his was, but mine was tough. You know what I'm saying? I can only speak for myself. I don't know how about Shamaz or whatever. I've hit a couple reset buttons, and it's tough. Like it hurts. It's like, I can't believe this. But
exactly.
if they really want to know, I get to the point, I'm at this point now, where I'm like, okay, this is what the book says. If you have, not you personally, just anybody, if anybody has something else that's opposite of what I'm saying, or opposite of what this book is saying, we have to address, first off, what it says and why you'll say opposite. Or is it because we don't understand what they're saying, or this, that, and the other? But since we're going contextually and going from start to finish, we're going to run across something that somebody thinks said something else, and once we realize this is what it say, perspectives will change. And all of us, like you say, want to know the truth. But some people don't really want to know the truth because they built, and we built a life, but we're still young. So, but some people that's older, they built a whole life, lifestyles, books, songs, emotions is built behind a belief. And some people, they're not gonna let that go. It's too emotionally connected. But some people are gonna say, you know what? I just want to know what's right. So, like you said, it's a handful that listens to the show. They want to know. Everybody wants to know what's right. They listen. Until something come across the stage and you might not want to listen no more. We've lost listeners. From the beginning, we lost listeners because we said some stuff that didn't go with what they previously believed. And they left the show. It just was too much. They felt like we was attacking them. And it wasn't that we was attacking them. It was just that the doctrine or belief system or the teachings that they had held on to was contrary to what we was reading. And they just didn't like it. So it's not for everybody. We always say that. It's not for everybody. But we are appreciative of the people that actually listen. And you said a lot. You know what I'm saying? You actually said, I know you said you didn't say everything, but you said a lot as far as it was meaningful words. And I could tell you're at a point where you're like, okay, I got so many questions now. And that's the way it is. Being Jedediah, we was talking about this. We say it's stages to this thing. And you get to one stage, and boom, and then you get to this, and then it's this. And then it's like, oh, my goodness. You know what I'm saying? Then you got so many questions. You know what I mean? You're just hitting the stages that we've hit previously to this. It took a lot for me to keep a lid on how I felt. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, it took a lot. And it's been so many times.
It's a lot of information. I ain't going to lie. It's a lot of information. And, some people don't process information fast. That's why they got, fast class, slow class. But I'm just saying, people don't process all the information at the same time. But one of my biggest pet peeve was that the one guy that always keep asking 100,000 questions. But I learned, honestly, my pet peeve became, one of my biggest, you know what? That's smart. The one dude that, to me, it was, automatic, I understood it right at the jump, but he asked 1,000 questions just to get there. I don't know why he had to do it. It was irritating. This was in math class, but this joker was asking so many questions. And then even in the military, you got people that you can clearly define or you can give clear direction to, and they ask these stupid questions, and you wonder why. They say there's no such thing as a stupid question. I learned that, there's no such thing as a stupid question. People just don't process information the same way. Some people just slow at processing, and he 300 steps Some people might need 5 steps, but that's what I'm learning. Like, you know, and this walk with you guys and this walk with this radio show, you know, some people's steps are real different from other people's steps. You know, I just like to tread on the edge. I like that. I like the edge. I don't want to be devil advocate. I just want to be like, all right, so if I got 3 doors, you know, they're all close together, and it might end up leading me to the same place. I just want to ask the question, which door I want to take. I don't ask what door. I'll just ask the question, and you probably going to tell me what door I need to go around so I can ask the next question. Because if I'm navigating the right way, the question is going to be very consistent in the navigation, because you seem like you're going to get to the same place. If I have to take a U-turn or what we call a reset, then I'll reset. I'll go to the last checkpoint that we had that we established that was good. That's why I brought up the whole checkpoint point. Because, you know, if you have a checkpoint that you know is good, we all really identified that this is no doubt the checkpoint. We got to go. So I'll go back to that checkpoint. I'll reset to that checkpoint. And so that's why I like this show, is because you can go back and recheck whatever tunnel I may have went down that I thought that was good, and go back, you know, and like you can go back, and that's no problem with me. And so that's why I like to navigate, because there's got to be some people on here that may not be outspoken like me, or may not want to say things, or don't know how to articulate it the way I may want to articulate it, and they've been told or taught, or they've read and they don't know how to really bring out the questions. That's why I like the whole point of allowing people to actively communicate as you go through the scriptures, because at the end of the day, we all trying to get to the truth. And I don't want people who's thinking like me and don't voice their opinion to just keep going lost, or just try to keep guessing where we at, and you just keep guessing and guessing and guessing. At the end of the day, you're so far away from where we're trying to get to. So I just want to be that person that just reel everything back so we can navigate together. And that's why I feel like I'm at. So just listening to the show every week, and I see where. And Sister Hawkman, you don't know how much of a blessing she is to the show, because she brings out like literal points. She's so literal with her verbiage and everything. It's like black and white. If she don't play with gray area, she's so black and white. She make you choose something. That's why I like with her. She don't know that she got a gift. She got a gift. She got a gift for making it real. She keep it real. So I like how she do it, because she makes sure that if there's somebody who's far off, she bring them somewhere back to the center. She's very gifted at that. But that's what this show is about. She helps the show make it go the direction it's supposed to go. So that's what I love about the show, and why we can talk and communicate. And we all trying to, at the end of the day, I believe we all trying to find out the truth. I'm just not so sold on extreme left or extreme right. I like to stay in the navigation area and say, all right, I'll go this way. If it don't work out, I got a checkpoint. And so that's what I like. Isaiah got so many checkpoints, you ain't got to worry about Isaac. To me, it shouldn't be that controversial, because you got so many checkpoints in it that you can go right back to here and you know. And then you got the Book of Kings that just bring it out. I didn't even realize that when y'all said that, and I went back to Kings, and I told y'all I was catching up on Kings, I'm like, oh, I see it now. So it's like Kings kind of bring the timeline, and Isaiah like laying it out. It's like, it's beautiful. It's very poetic. I don't know, to me, it's like Isaiah's a poetic, and when you do poetry, people don't catch poetry real easy. Like, you think William Shakespeare, you don't understand the words, you have to really study what he's trying to go through, or his lifestyle, whatever was going on. So, that's why it's controversial, because it's so poetic, and it's not really direct. It's not 100% direct. It's poetic. So it's bringing it out in a smooth context. And some people can take it one way, and some people can take it the other way. But at the end of the day, if we go back to certain checkpoints, which Isaiah has, we all can navigate the same way. So I'm telling you, y'all ain't doing nothing wrong. I just think that last week, it was very strong on personal belief. It was just super strong on personal belief, and I just felt like I had to start this show off saying, hey, just think about the people who's trying to understand us or trying to understand Isaiah, and to not lose them, to try to keep a level head or level mind about what we're trying to go to. And that's really what it's all about. We all trying to find out the truth at the end of the day, and that's what I'm trying to find out.
And what I say, what I will say, and this is to anybody listening, this is in retrospect to the comment that you just made, and even to yourself, just even if, you come across something, and as it will happen. We have so many more verses to go. Come across something that does not line up with what you've been told, or maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but, so many different perspectives. It doesn't line up with what you've been told. It ain't that you have to believe right off top. You can take in what is being said, especially if it lines up with Kings and certain stuff. I say, okay, this hit is going King. You can't throw that out. You have to say, okay, now they did say this. I might not want to believe that part, but it is in Kings. Let me go back and read it myself. Let me go do a little study and let me figure this out. This, that, and the other. That's what I would, give anybody that's listening, advice. And just keep walking with us. Don't just say, oh, there you lost me there, because that means that, especially without a question, especially without, asking us what we think about it or this, that, and the other, because without knowing how we think about it, or because sometimes we all think different, but without questions, like you said, you can sit back and guess. You can sit back and tell somebody, well, this is what I think he's saying, and that might not be necessarily true. Also, when we get to the end of the whole thing, then let us see, like, okay, I done went through this whole thing, all Isaiah, I got something, I don't got something, this made sense, this don't make sense, and we keep on pushing, and then, maybe be some questions at the end, well, I didn't catch this or something like that. This is what we're here for. This is why we are, together in this thing, because we trying to get the answers. And if somebody sees something that I don't see, say something, and I probably asked a lot of questions just for the simple fact that I'd be like, well, I was reading this and it didn't make no sense to me, and yet y'all didn't gave me the answer. So, with that being said, I only want people to keep going, I only want people to keep riding with us, you know what I'm saying? And then not riding with us, like as far as this got to do with us three, but keep riding with, us as a group of people saying, all right, look, we all in this, you know what I'm saying? And we all trying to get this together. That's what I'm saying. I guess in just layman's terms as quick as I possibly can. You asked, some things ain't sit well with you. Cool. That's all we ask. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't gonna sit well with you. The only difference is between it not sitting well with y'all and it not sitting well with us is, since I read it probably before you to try to get my point and try to get everything together, it already didn't sit well with me if it didn't, Or, like, I've been through Isaiah months ago, not the whole thing. I've been through some things, like what we did a couple weeks ago. I've already broke that down, and that's kind of what changed my life. That's kind of what said, ooh. Then I got to looking into some more, so I kept looking. And then, like I was saying, I was over there losing my mind, and I thought I was going to lose all my friends. I said, look, y'all still going to be cool with me if I don't believe what y'all believe? And they was like, yeah, Yeti, y'all mom. I'm like, man, I'm like, this is the biggest thing for me. The Hulk mom, like, man, look, I don't believe in this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still gonna be cool with me? Because guess what? The people it was some people that talked bad about me instantly, you know, and I was all kind of named, you know, and I was all kind of falling away and this, that, and the other, and they didn't ask me what my perspective was. They didn't ask me, you know, what make you think that way, and let's sit down and go through the scriptures, brother. They didn't. They just immediately went to you, the devil. And, you know, to the person that's trying to live for the Most High, that hurts. So the thing about it is, I mean, I know I went off, but I just go off to come back and say, just even if, you know, because I'm who I am, you know, but even if you just like, I just totally don't agree with that, write it down. Write down what we say, and let's go to anybody, not just Phil, but write down what we say. Write down the scriptures we got. Study it for yourself, and then if you got something, bring it to us, or the person that said it, and it could be in any form of social media that we collaborate on, and let's comb this thing out together. I am not so strong-headed on a point that I won't listen and that I won't say, you know what, you're right. So now let's put it together. But the first thing is, okay, let me ask this question. That's the first thing. Okay, and that question brings another question. And if it gets to a point where, like, well, we don't know the answer, well, now it's got to be something that I can look into. And best believe, I must have been in training for question upon question dealing with Sister Hoffman. She is one of the most questioning people you would ever meet in your whole life. Like, why is that? Why is that? You run out of why. Like, literally, she makes you read the Bible. Like, she got a question, you're not going to just tell her the answer, then that's it. It's okay, you say that, why is that? You be like, because this. It's like, okay, well, why is that? You be like, because of this. Why is that? Well, hold on, I have to get back to you, because now I done ran out of answers. You might not have all the answers right off top dealing with her. But that's what I say, it built me up to say, okay, you have to go deeper. It ain't no surface level. That ain't no just because I said so. And I'm not expecting nobody to believe anything that we say just because we say so. I expect you to believe because the Bible says so. Now, some people going to say, well, you say it say that. Or you say it say that. Nah. That's not where I'm trying to go with it. I'm not trying to go into my interpretation of what I feel or any of us, and that's why we don't really collaborate before we come. So it doesn't seem like we're pushing an agenda. If us three saw something and we want everybody to walk along with us and read and listen, you know what I'm saying, and nobody gives any opposition, we're going to continue to think what we thought because all of us three was on one accord, so we might as well keep on going. If somebody else come in, because, you know, the Mercy used to come in and say something, I was taking into account. Sometimes I'd be like, man, this dude is tripping. You know what I'm saying? But he know that, and I would say that. But then some stuff like, you know what, that was a good point. Now I can take that and keep it into perspective as I move on. And that's all. Sometimes you do need somebody to keep you in perspective. But we have to know and we have to believe that the Most High gave us all the essentials that we need within the text, and how we get it, that's different. I don't believe, I'm going to use the same word you use, is mystery. I don't believe anything salvational is mystery. Okay? That's just my perspective. I just don't feel like that's fair. Okay? I don't feel like it's fair that you say, here's the rules, but I hear a rule, and you have to figure that rule out, and that is the most important rule. So since I don't feel that, I'm going to look for that rule and make sure that you got the rule somewhere in there. But if you don't, and I'm not saying we ain't been through the whole thing yet, so I can't tell you if it's in there. Don't ask me if it's in there anywhere. I can tell you, all I know is what I used to know. But so now I'm going through. I'm kind of looking for these rules. But I'm looking. I'm like, man, hold on. Let me. If I find it, then I say, aha, this is the rule right here. It's plain as day. If I get through this whole Tanakh, before we roll over into the New Testament, and I don't find this rule, now I'm skeptical, very skeptical, because you're making it like everybody beforehand, before the new, did not know this. He been speaking to people, prophets, all that, visions, dreams, and he ain't mentioned it one time. I would have to refuse to believe that. But then, like you say, some people say, well, he's here, he's here, he's here, he's here. And some of the places in which it was said that he was here, even in Matthew, we went over Isaiah 7, that's the only place I'm going to go right now. Because that's where, I'm staying within the chapters that we've done. But in that Matthew 7, to be honest with you, I think Matthew is the only book that says anything about it. So could Matthew been off? Yes, I take that as a possibility. Now, I want to even give a perspective of, like you say, well, what about the historical? Now, could Jesus, I'm going to use Jesus, could he have been the righteous teacher that the Essenes was talking about? Truly, he could have been. Because it was known of some guy walking around, and they called him a righteous teacher, and he was teaching people, and he had a lot of people admired him, and and all that. But here's the thing,
Brother Mine,
you could be a righteous teacher. I could be a righteous teacher, and people could give us admiration. But should I be put on? Now, not saying you do it, but put on the level of the Most High. Should I be admired as the Most High? Should I be thought of as the Most High? No, not at all. See, and the problem is not with you personally. Not with you personally. You know what I'm saying? Because I really don't know. You always said Jesus wasn't God. But let's put the whole chips on the table, and let's go with the majority. You have, say something goes right in your life. Okay, I used to do it. I looked at an old Facebook post. First person I think was Jesus. Now, what if this person is not the person I'm supposed to be thanking? I gave my whole thanks through someone that I'm not supposed to give through, if that's the possibility. I'm just saying, if. We're going with this hypothetical, right? So I sat back one day and asked Moses, I said, I want to know what admiration I need to be giving this guy, because I don't want to give him too much and take away from you. I don't want to give him too little, and then I'm falling into sin. So I was in the middle ground. But I went to go see that movie with the white dude trying to figure out, who was Jesus. I did that. And I seen the movie twice. And I wrote down all the little sources that he found and looked at those sources. This ain't nothing new to me. I'm not one-sided, okay? I went on both sides, but what I'm saying is I just want to know the truth. So, but it's the people out there that's like, everything is Jesus. Everything is Jesus. Everything is Jesus. The Most High has no say so. I see the people that's on my timeline right now that say Jesus is God and jumping on people that don't believe it, literally calling them stupid and don't believe the word if they don't believe that Jesus is not God. So this is a big debacle. This ain't just with you or the people that listen. This is a worldwide epidemic on who this guy really is and what place or role does he play in your life? Whether or not it's salvation, whether or not he is your God, because to some people he is the Most High, just in bodily form, or whether or not he was just a prophet. He plays some sort of role, okay? And for me, he played a role. And even to this day, he plays a role only because I find myself having to explain my life, as far as my belief, why I don't believe that route anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have a problem with it because I know it's the biggest thing right now. I'm just prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? A little bit prepared for it. So, yes, for us come out this information, To some people, we're going to be taking away God to them. We're going to be taking away salvation for them to believe this. This is taking away their God. This is taking away this person's salvation. And then what are they left with? Everything that they worked for, everything that they felt like was the crown or the gem in their crown of salvation, of turning people to Jesus being their Lord and Savior, is taken away if you take away this platform. So it's not really that I'm trying to do that. I'm just trying to present facts. To me, I feel like this. I put it on the table, and the person that receives it is the jury. That's where the high order day come from. You're the jury. You can decide from these facts, and this is in your lifestyle, whether or not you believe the evidence that's put on the table, or if it's a benefit of the doubt, reasonable doubt, and you say, you know what, that isn't enough evidence. That falls on the individual person.
Am I live?
Yeah, you still live. I ain't closed nobody. Nobody. What's it called?
I think for this, maybe we can. Maybe I probably do it myself. You know, I know a little bit of IT, but I think for this radio show, for everything that we do, that it should be recorded and then it should be like in graphics. I would really love like the graphics behind what we discuss, and I do it. If we got like if we don't have a website, if the radio talk show don't have a website, we need to find our way to develop a website. But we need to get graphics on this website, on this radio show, because I think that it helps. What you're saying, what you're saying is so good, but for the person that may have thoughts of anything, the one thing we can rely on, to me, I always believe in math. I always believe that stuff got to add up. If 1 plus 1 is 2,
right,
then doggone it, 1 plus 1 is definitely 2. So we get the graphics of 1 plus 1 is 2. But when we have like these algebra, or we have these equations where you have to start figuring out like 1x plus y is equals 3c, and you know, for people who love algebra, it's not hard to figure that out. I love algebra. I can figure that stuff out, so I can see things a little bit better than other people because the math to me just adds up. But why I want graphics, or why I want to see graphics, for people to really understand how everything enfolds into like mathematical order. Like you cannot deny certain things. If you got 10 fingers, right, you could say 2 fingers plus 8 more fingers is 10. Nobody's going to deny that. You know, you can be lied to your whole life about a lot of things, but if you got 2 fingers and you add 8 to it, nobody can ever deny that's going to equal 10. So if we can ever get to a graphic where 1 plus 1 is 2, I love 1 plus 1 plus 2. 1 plus 1 equals 2, because you don't have to get into the 3y and 3x plus y equals something c. So let's leave the algebra out of it, because algebra makes people guess. So why I brought that out is to the fact that you understand a certain thing. Other people understand a whole different thing. So how do we get people that don't understand it to get in? The only way I can think of it is to propose a reality that there's only one way this can be, there's only one way this can go, and this is only one way it can actually come up to. So if we can get to that point, then it solves a lot of problems for like a lot of people that have a lot of questions, because I think the questions really add up to the math. Like the math don't add up, so why would this be this and that say that, and it ends up being a whole bunch of different things. So if we can get a graphematical, like, you know, we can get I really want a website. I'll probably do it myself.
Like y'all was thinking of where he was already like thinking about some graphics, putting the graphics to the show and stuff like that. And he's very good at, you know, he said he know the programs and stuff like that. And he was just talking about this a couple weeks ago. So that's great that you say that, because basically you and his mind is thinking alike. You know what I'm saying? So, I would say get up with him and say, because he already thinking about it, and be like, hey, look, we was talking on the show or whatever, and I was talking about graphics, and yourself said, hey, look, you was thinking about doing the graphics thing, so maybe we can link together, and it could relieve some pressure off of him, and y'all can kind of correlate it together, because I don't know how to do it, personally. So that's, what I'm saying, like I say, he was talking about doing it, you talking about doing it. Y'all know how to do that thing. Y'all going to be on point with it when it boils down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say,
Yeah, because it's like a lot of questions. Like this is what I like about the whole thing. It's like it's a discussion now, And I like to get away from traditional Bible study. There's one person talking and everybody writing notes. You got to go back home and read and do all this stuff for yourself. Most people don't even do that. They'll just take what the person says and then go there. Every time I go to church now, I'm like, no, you did this wrong. No, you said that wrong. You bring out, no, they don't match up. And that's what they do. It's like, to me, it's systematic. Honestly, like you don't believe that we are on so many different, so many same pages about a whole bunch of stuff that I don't believe in, and we all don't believe in the same things. It's just that I just have a different way of trying to execute the truth. I just have a way of thinking, all right, the only way that somebody gonna understand anything that what I'm saying is to navigate on a medium that don't be so extreme to the left or too extreme to the right. To just stay in the middle and try to help somebody understand why somebody would think this way or why somebody would think that way. Give them an option to choose. Like, all right, let me reel back and say, what is this person telling me something for their own good or they're telling me for my own good? I want them to really experience for themselves. That's why I brought up the whole his story and because a pastor gonna tell you something that he believes, or somebody who's telling you something that they believe. They want you to believe the same thing that they believe. They can't definitively say it is what it is, because they only can say, I believe this, and you should believe it because I believe it. And that's wrong to me. I just believe that's wrong. But if you can believe it...
I mean, that's honestly what's been going on for years. Believe this because I said it. Believe this because I said it,
Exactly. So I'm trying to get to a point where I don't want us to get to the point where we the same way to say, all right, believe it this way, because I know it's a lot of facts. Like we bring out the truth, but some people can't see it that way. So we have to stay open. Just keep a little small mind and say, all right, we have to make it their opportunity. If it's a mystery to them, then don't make it history. Don't make it mystery. Don't make it any of that. Just let them choose what they're gonna say at the end of the day. But they gotta look for it for themselves. Like if we bring out concrete Bible scriptures, they don't know hope. It's just they gotta look at it for concrete Bible scriptures. Like I'm like, the Bible does say this. Let me go back. Somebody gotta do that for themselves. But you gotta let them know, hey, look, this is not my implication on you. This is what it says. I am not making this up. And that's what I hate about Christians. That's why I don't go to church. It's based on theology, what they believe. I don't want what nobody believes. I just want to know it for what it is. Tell me exactly what it says, and not what you think it's saying. Just tell me what it says and go for it. And this is what is so good about the show, is because you read the Bible and hey, look, there's no evidence supporting that this. You can only read it for what it is. Isaiah is doing that really. That's why we got so many checkpoints in Isaiah, because it just level heads you to say, well, damn it, at the end of the day, this is all the same right now. You can't just throw in the extra this and this. No, it's just saying this. You can't add all this other stuff that you want to add to it. So
Yeah.
I had to learn that like early when y'all started. I had to learn that stuff. Like y'all resetted me so many times. I ain't gonna lie. It's like at least
hey, we've been resetting ourselves though.
Yeah,
we've been resetting ourselves
it's just
from
the
the
reality.
jump.
Like, oh, I can't think like that. It ain't saying that. You can't go by what you think it's saying. Just go for what it says naturally. If it's saying this, just go with what it's saying. Why you gotta add to it? And that's what we do. We ad-lib too much. You know, in the church, we ad-lib, we add stuff to stuff that don't even supposed to be added to. We make it believe just to, you know, and that's what got into the whole, man, look.
So let me ask you a
right
question
now.
on presentation. This is what I'm asking you on something that you're saying. So basically, you say just keep, you know, present the scriptures like you present them. Like I was saying, you know, throw the evidence out there, and then let them be the jury more so, and let them be able to, you know, study on their own by throwing their stuff out there. Like, hey, look, this is, you know, what we got. This is the scriptures. This is where it come from. You know, and just present it more so, you know, because I'm not saying that we don't present it. I'm just saying that I see a lot of people, like you say, that try to force stuff on some. I've fallen victim to, you know, wanting somebody to see something because I saw it. And, you know, even if I bring more stuff, I'll give more of the, either we ain't even got to talk about the New Testament, Old Testament. We'll talk about the pagan holidays. You know, trying to present that is even hard within itself. Because you got family members, I got family members, you know what I'm saying, still participate in those holidays. And, I mean, majority of my family participate in the holidays. So, you know, it's hard. I've presented my mother, you know, other family members and all that with it. And it's like, well, I'm not trying to hear that. And, you know, I guess you just get to a point, like I've gotten to a point where I say, oh, you don't believe it, okay, whatever. I've gotten to that point. I'm actually there. It took me a long time to get there. I've grown to that. But there's a lot of people that's forceful. They want to push it on you. And if you don't, like I say, it's a good thing to go through this with us because I never called nobody on the air stupid. Unless you talk, you know, I might not call you stupid on the air. But lo and behold, if you make me mad enough, I'll say you stupid to myself. And I'm joking, but I'm not. Only because I'd be upset. But then I'll stop being upset, then that was wrong. Yeah, then I stupid. Then, you know what I'm saying? That type of deal. But that's only if I'm pushed to the point of being upset because of the way somebody come at me. Not more so because they didn't see it the same way I saw it. Because I understand that there's different ways that people understand and they learn. Like you said, visual. That was a great idea about the graphics because some people are visual learners. And they're not going to see it because I'm saying it. Now, some people can remember and retain what I say. Some people are going to need to see it in the scriptures broke down. Like you said, math, adding up, 1 + 1 is 2. That's the way somebody else learns. So I understand that clearly. So I go back to what you said. So you basically saying presentation is 100%, you know what I'm saying, what we got to focus on, make sure that we present it in a way that people could, that they can approach it. And also, like, that's why we put in more ratios also, because we want people to be able to talk. It's just that, like, now, you know what I'm saying, I mean, it's, like I said, it's cool, but, and we glad, like, I'm glad people participate. We used to have it to where we wanted people to tell us what the retro is about. Nobody would say anything. We had to make up it, but it was fresh then. You know what I'm saying? We progressing, we moving a little bit. You know what I mean? And we're getting somewhere a lot better. So I mean, the most I get an increase and stuff starts to increase, and it's been increasing. So I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying, like, we was like, I guess ahead of our time. We wanted something to happen, but now we see it unfold, and we like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. So yeah.
All right, I think
this
is my personal thought. This is not what other people maybe think. Maybe some people think that I think. But the original thought to me was that everything started. I've been at the beginning, and then that second season I was just non-existent. I was just going through a whole lot of stuff. So that's why I told Brother Yedda, I'm like, look, I ain't got none of that. That last season when y'all went through the whole Kings, first Kings, second Kings, I didn't get none of that. So I'm like, I don't know where we at. And I think that a lot of people at the same time, like, y'all got a lot of knowledge, and people can't really, they don't feel like they can respond because y'all probably saying things that y'all already studied. And then especially when you're talking about a different whole language, that's a whole nother extra, like a whole nother thing that make a person want to think, well, how could I even argue anything because it's a whole different language? So if you're already studying in a whole different language or the language it was originally developed in, it's very hard for people to really communicate because there's a whole big different language that have different meanings and that's the reality to it though. If you even think about the whole point we bringing out right now about the virgin and Christ being born by a virgin and by Isaiah saying Emmanuel, all of the stuff, it's a whole language. It's a big language that defers to a whole lot of things. So you got to bring this whole language out too, on top of bringing out your point. So you got all of this stuff mixed into it. It's a whole bunch of information that people got to process.
But
so they're going to be reluctant. They're going to be reluctant to respond on anything. But you know, when you really if you go back and read, if you read Google, that's what I did. I started with Google. Right? I didn't end it with Google, but I started with Google, and I started reading everything, and then I started all right, well, I'm gonna study this. I'm gonna go out. I went to 100,000 different places to see every point of view because I want to know. I just want to know. So when I went to all the point of views and everything like that, I'm like, all right, then, Matthew made a mistake. I don't think the dude, at the end of the day, all my studies say he didn't try to make something sound like it wasn't supposed to be. It just seemed like he just confused everything. So he confused it. That's how I took it. I'm sorry. That's how I took it. I'm giving Matthew a break. I'm sorry.
But that's real though. Let me say something, man. You saying something that I honestly, man, I presented. I got a video that I presented on Matthew 7, bringing it, correlating it with King. I did say, we just gonna act like my video say we just gonna sit here and act like Matthew ain't lie. You know what I'm saying? So, but to be honest with you, even that alone is to get you to say, Matthew lied. Let me listen to this brother. Now, it might offend you a little bit, but I want somebody to see what I'm talking about. And you did exactly what I want and we want people to do. Go look for yourself. All I'm doing is just pointing you in a direction. Now, and I'm going to let you speak again, and I want to respond to the first thing you said. Bro, sometimes it don't. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. Sometimes I catch stuff real quickly, and I remember stuff real quickly. So I can read the day of the show, and then got points and thought about a whole bunch of stuff real quick. Boom, boom, boom. But sometimes I spend a week on it. Sometimes I read it on Sunday. Sometimes I read it after the show. Have highlights. Then got to go do some Hebrew. I got to learn Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? So some of my other time is going to Hebrew. Not to mention trying to fit in. Can't try to fit in work. Everything is molded around that. And then, I still want to go out. I still want to have fun. I still want to. So it's a lot of time that's put into it, but it's only so we can present something to our people, who we feel is our people. And I'm using this term loosely, but we basically are servants, you know what I'm saying, to put the information out. So we have to do, a servant puts in more work than the person going through reaping the benefits of the service. Now, do we want you to put in as much? I mean, at this point, you might not be able to because you don't know where to start. But you can get there, and we just want somebody to be, you know what I'm saying, do what we do. You might not have the time to do it like we doing. Or you might not do it like we do, you know what I'm saying? Just like, oh, all this stuff is, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's accessible. The Most High brought me, Shema, and Yada Yada together. Because this is a Facebook thing, and they saw me on a post, and we just had some of the same beliefs kind of linked up and, you know, talked about some stuff, and it went on from there. And we've been cool, and we've been the best people to spread the word with ever since. So, you know what I'm saying, we know it's a reason behind it, and we usually on the same, like, little note. So, all we saying is, for us to say, all right, cool, and just think about it. It's been 2 years that we've been having to do this, so we got kind of like a habit, too, now. When we first started this thing, I don't wish we could do it over because we learned from our mistakes, but if I'd have known now what I know then, man, because just from reading from there, I've come to a point like, wow, my ignorance level at that point thought that I was wise, and even now, me thinking I'm wise right now is ignorant in any aspect. So it's not that we've elevated, you know, that we are elevated. We haven't elevated ourselves at all. It's not that we are elevated. It's just that we put the time in. And that's all. You got to put a little bit of time in. You have to read it. You have to look at some words. You have to question it. That's the only way you're going to get it.
I want to say something
because
you have to cut Orek off sometimes. What I want to say to the brother that's talking, I'm glad that you came back. I'm probably not, Phillip, thank you. I'm probably not on the panel, but I promise you I feel like I'm part of this panel at many times. And I'm glad that you came back and that you went back to look, because there's people who's been on here, and because of their emotions and because of the way they feel, they leave. But I know they're searching and looking and searching and looking. And when they come back, they're going to apologize. And they're going to say, you know what, I let my emotions take, because there's love on this show. That's all I know. And so they'll be back. So I'm just glad that you did. You had your little season. You had things going on, but then you went back and said, what is they talking about? And not just being closed-minded and not looking and saying, okay, they just boasting up themselves, because there's so many people that talk so bad about them. So that's my little tidbit I just had to say is I do know, I don't even know Jedediah as far as in person, but I do know his sincerity, and I do know that he puts in a lot of work and a lot of time into this. And that's one of the loves that I have for him, because he's so genuine. When it comes to Shema, I haven't met him in person. And he always likes to say, sis, you don't know me. Okay. But anyway, he ain't here to defend himself, so I'm going to leave it at that. But I just know they have a genuine, true love for the word, and they want to know and not have their own agenda and not want to say, okay, this is what I taught, so this is what I believe. They like, no, we finna open up this book. And what does the book say? And so that's just one of the loves I have for them. So I'm just glad you came back and you're open-minded and you want to know the truth too, even though sometimes the truth is not our truth. That's all.
Am I live?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna hopefully this is the last thing I gotta say. But
you got 5 minutes to say it.
All right, I wish Brother Yedei was on the line right now, but I'm gonna just say this. It's like a little small testimony. It's the fact that when I met him, we were changing MOSs. I think both of us going from 92 Alpha to 92 Yankee. We were in the same class, same course, everything like that. And like when I met this dude, I was on a Christian pathway. Like, I'm Christ-minded, everything like that. And he's on a different level. Like, he's just so far behind Christ that you won't believe that he's behind Christ. And, like, the crazy thing is, like, when you leave that school, when you leave everything, it's like, go about your own military business. They go on about their own military business. But he kept up with me. He always communicated with me, because some things I said to him, it was on a Christian level. It was on a Christian level, but we can. That's why I say when I started the show off, we connected on some type of level of Christianity, So he's so advanced. He has surpassed me in all things, and I think I know the scriptures like back and forth, but I never really studied the Old Testament, and that's one truth that he has, that I never studied the Old Testament like I should have, you know. So we at this point now where
we wasn't taught that.
Exactly.
We was taught to focus on the New Testament.
So he reset it a long time before I ever got a chance to reset. So this is the beauty of it. The beauty of it is that we connected on a certain level, but he reset it and he reeling me in. A person that was so far from Christ that I was so close to, and he just wanted to connect with me because I was so close to something that I believed in, and that he reset it long before I reset it. To me to get to him, like now I'm deferring to him. That's so beautiful, and you cannot make this up. When you know somebody that knows something a long time ago, and then he learned about what you knew, but he reset it and learned something different, and he's bringing you in, and now you got to reset it. That you cannot make it up. It's that fucking beautiful. I'm sorry I'm cursing, but it's that beautiful. Is that he can come behind me. You know, and it makes you think about the scripture. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. He just came to a point that he understands it way better than I understand it. I'm like, oh man, I'm so humbled. I swear, I'm so humbled today because of him.
I know. I hear you.
Listen to the show.
Look,
everything about the show is starting because I am, and we had a lot of conversations off this show. And we communicate like you probably understand, but you don't understand like I understand. That's why I said when it's a mystery, it's my story. You don't understand, brother. Like I know him, like where I met him at, what state of mind he was at when I met him, the things I was doing, the mindset I was at when he was. You don't understand, like you don't. That's the beauty of it. You just don't see. So it's like a mystery to me. Because it's like, wow, this boy, no, I never believe him and all the people. Because he's a rapper, you know, you probably don't know he's like real good. He can spit like crazy. Man, he got like, all right, man, y'all don't understand. Like, this is the brother that brought me back to like thinking like the way I'm thinking.